Tonight's pregame show. I'm Danny LaRose alongside my partner David Korzanowski. We are here on Halloween night in Falmouth, Massachusetts, so I decided to pick out the scariest costume that I could find. This disgusting orange.
And I decided to go in my trash bin and just wear a garbage bag. David, your vision looks a lot better.
Thank you. Friendly college rivalry we got going here. So, now let me regain my thoughts. I feel stupid with this flat brim on, but we're gonna move on. We'll talk about last night.
Yeah.
Falmouth actually got in a little bit of a scare of their own in the top of the ninth inning.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna have to lower these, I can't read. So last night, Falmouth with a 3-0 lead in the top of the ninth inning. Jack Little comes on a night after he struck out the side to get the save and blows it. Lets up 3 doubles, 3 earned runs against him, but Maverick Hanley saves the day. Bottom of the ninth inning, he hits a walk-off double to score Logan Davidson. Real fun game, and the Commodores getting away with the win, like you said, a little after that scare.
4-3 win against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. It was their second win against Hyannis this summer, and the second walk-off as well. But maybe one of the unsung heroes was Will Brennan. He started off the bottom of the ninth inning and slapped a single, and our very own Greg Levinsky caught up with Will pregame.
Greg Levinsky here alongside Commodores left fielder, center fielder, everything outfielder, Will Brennan. Well, you've had a couple of good games, racking up 2 hits the last 2 games. You struggled a little bit in the beginning of the season. What changes have you made or adjustments the last couple of days?
Just, being easy, not working so hard, just, playing free. And been working with the coaches and stuff, so just trying to be easy and free.
And now you played center and left field as the gloves are flying at us from the bullpen. Always, those guys are funny guys. But regardless, do you have a position that you feel more natural at?
I like center field, just get to run around a lot more, but wherever coach puts me, wherever I make some plays will be fun. So.
And lastly, going into this game against Yarmouth Dennis, you guys are all at 500 trying to move up in the division standings. Where do you see this team at now, and where do you think they can get to by the end of the summer?
I obviously see this team, hopefully making playoffs, making it far. We have a lot of potential, a lot of talent. We've won a bunch of games the last couple of weeks, so I see us, making it far.
For Will Brennan and company, and the glove is flying, I'm Greg Levinsky. You're watching Falmouth Commodores Baseball.
Thanks a lot, Greg. Now, David, we're going to turn our attention to the starting pitcher for Falmouth tonight. Will Etheridge back out for his second start.
Yeah, Will Etheridge's first start, not what he wanted. He went 3 2/3 against the Bourne Braves, allowed 5 runs on 4 hits, only struck out 1. Now, he's not used to being a starter. He was a starter his freshman year over at Ole Miss, then was in the bullpen for most of this summer, and then for his 2018 season at Ole Miss. Now back out on the bump for his second start, looking to rebound and looking to get back to his winning ways.
Yeah, he had that 3 2/3 start against the Bourne Braves where he gave up 5 earned runs, as my partner said. And he was a 2017 Commodore. 10 appearances, all in relief, 14 innings pitched, and a sub-2 ERA, trying to channel some of last summer. Now we're going to turn our attention to the series history. YD and Falmouth scoring off for the 4th time. Even though the Red Sox are atop the East Division standings, Falmouth has played well against them.
Yeah, Falmouth 2-1 against those top in the East YD Red Sox, and it's always been the away team who wins these games. Falmouth 2-0 over at Red Wilson Field in Yarmouth. Meanwhile, the Red Sox had a 1-0 victory last time they were here at Go Fuller Field. That was in the middle of the Falmouth 6-game losing streak. Scott Politz pitched a gem. The bats didn't wake up, so the Commodores ended up losing that by only 1 run. But of course, they did win 8-0 very convincingly first week of the season against the Red Sox. So we'll see what happens tonight. We'll see if that trend continues and the away teams come out on top, or we'll see if the Commodores can win this season series.
So Falmouth and YD set to square off again. That 1-0 loss was one of 3 times that the Commodores have been shut out this year. It's the first series that Falmouth will be wrapping up versus a Cape League opponent, and it's coming up right after the break. We're going to show you the national anthem as well. For David Korzanowski, I'm Danny LaRose. We'll see you in just a bit.
I got some football games to lose.
She's been performing solo since she was 6, and her dad has served in the U.S. Coast Guard for 18 years and is now stationed at Air Station Cape Cod.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for those 2 words that you all love to hear, we welcome Declan the Ghost.
Play ball!
Hello and welcome into the broadcast booth. I'm still Danny LaRose, unfortunately. I think my dad's going to disown me in this shirt if he sees me.
I hope so.
Alongside me is my partner, David Korzanowski. It's Halloween night here, in case you haven't noticed by now. Also, our producer, Eliza Laycock, is dressed as one of the Powder Puff Girls.
Power Puff Girls.
Power. Oh, shoot.
Not powder.
I'm so sorry. Along with our videographer and photographer, Carly Mathias, and Haley Blitch. So we're having fun here in the booth, and the Falmouth Commodores looking to keep a 2-game win streak going.
Yeah, 2-game win streak that almost lost it last night, but Maverick Hanley with some late game heroics. They were up 3-0. Jack Little blew it. Maverick Hanley backing up his teammate in Falmouth and at Stanford. So now they're looking to extend that win streak against the team that they've had some success against, the YD Red Sox.
They have won both games at YD, 8-0 and 6-3 respectively. They've played once at Gov Fuller Field and it was a 1-0 loss. We mentioned that in the pregame show. Danny, let's walk through the lineups, especially for the Commodores. Some guys playing positions that we haven't seen them at this summer.
Hang on, let me take off my glasses first. Now I can see. Yeah, so we've got Maverick Hanley over at third base, which we were not expecting to see at all. Cameron Cannon moving over to short. That is where he played for the University of Arizona these past couple of years, so he's familiar with the position but has not yet played it here in the summertime. And Kyle Stowers, the team leader in batting average, and he's been red hot, back in the lineup. Probably was suffering from maybe injury, minor thing, and he's finally back in the lineup over at first base, so no Davis Sims tonight.
And looking at the YD side, some notable absences, particularly Noah Campbell, who usually plays shortstop. He has been red hot. He has a 16-game hit streak. And Andrew Dashback, the first baseman from Stanford, he's out of the lineup as well. So some mixing and matching done by both head coaches, Jeff Trundy for the Commodores, Scott Pickler for the YD Red Sox, and Will Etheridge back on the mound for his second start. He's going to be squaring off against Michael Henley.
Will Etheridge, who had a rough first go of it at Bourne, where he let up 5 runs, 4 hits, and only pitched 3 2/3. That was en route to a 7-5 loss. Falmouth's bats were alive that game, so he didn't get the loss, but the team did lose. And then Michael Henley on the other side of things only has had 1 start so far. That was his only appearance as well, July 5th against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. He allowed 2 earned runs over 3 2/3 and 6 hits with 4 strikeouts. So he's a guy who gets a lot of strikeouts but also gives up a lot of hits. He's sitting at a 4.90 ERA on his young season, a late addition because he is a Texas Longhorn.
So Michael Henley making his second start of the summer as well. And starting things off for the YD Red Sox will be David Hamilton, the second baseman from the University of Texas. He's batting only .167, but a late arriver to the Cape because Texas was one of those 8 teams that made the College World Series. Will Etheridge looks in. He's got that left arm, that glove hand perched in front of his face. He agrees on a sign with Herbert Iser, who's behind the plate, and he fires a first pitch that is lined into left field. In is Will Brennan, and he makes the first out.
Easiest pie for Will Etheridge, 1 pitch and 1 out over to his first-name counterpart, Will Brennan. So already getting an out on the first man. He faces David Hamilton, whose average is not indicative of how he is as a player. Of course, a much better player, just slow start, as we've seen with a lot of these guys here in the Cape League.
Brings up Jonathan DeLuca, batting .333 on the summer. He has been outstanding. Had 3 hits the last time these two teams squared off. He holds up at ball number 1. So the rest of the defense we'll walk you through. Will Brennan in left, Austin Langworthy in center, Matt Wallner in right. That's become the standard outfield. Infield is Handley, Davidson, Cantrell, and Stowers, with Herbert Iser back behind the plate. Strike number 1 on the outside part, and it's even at 1-1.
Something Will Etheridge is going to have to do more often. Hit the corners. He was throwing a lot of meatballs his last time out.
This one is fouled back into the screen, 1-2. So Will Etheridge last summer had a 1.28 ERA over 14 innings pitched. He only let up 2 earned runs all summer. This one is high and inside, 2-2. I was talking to him about it, whether or not he made the All-Star team. He didn't have the threshold for innings, so he was just below that, but likely would have been named an All-Star otherwise. This one is into left field again. Will Brennan has to field it on a hop, and it is a 1-out single for Jonathan DeLuca.
2 nearly identical shots into left field. One just getting under it from David Hamilton, stayed up enough for Will Brennan. This one dying in front of Will Brennan, but they had the same trajectory where it was breaking balls that they sat on just enough in order to put it into left field, and one of them, Jonathan DeLuca, got away with it.
First hit of the night comes in the top of the first inning. And it brings up Quinn Cotton, batting .302. Running is DeLuca. Herbert Iser, throw down to second. Should be there in time, and it is. Herbert Iser quickly gets the second out. Was up in plenty of time. Threw down to Hayden Cantrell. 2 out.
We rave about Maverick Hanley, but how about Herbert Iser showing off the cannon? And I'm just shocked that we haven't seen as many successful stolen base attempts. It seems like every single time there's a runner stealing on either side, for the Commodores or against the Commodores, they're caught stealing. These catchers all across the Cape League have been impressing.
Tried to get him in scoring position with 1 out. Instead, the bases are clear with 2 outs. Swinging is Quinn Cotton, and he misses, now 0-2. This one fouled back into the screen. Count remains 0-2. Will Etheridge trying to work a quasi 1-2-3 inning. We saw a couple of those last night because of the caught stealing. Maverick Hanley threw out 2 guys down at second base. This one is up the middle. Ranging over is Cameron Cannon, but he can't get there in time, and it's the second hit. Now a 2-out base runner for the Red Sox.
And that just adds to how clutch that Herbert Iser throw was over to second base. That probably would have scored the runner DeLuca on second base with just how slowly that one was hit. So instead of facing a 1-0 deficit with still only 1 out, Will Etheridge only has 1 man on and 2 outs, no runs across.
Now Reese Albert, the lefty, is up at the plate. He's a rising sophomore at Florida State. Batting .340 on the summer. This one's over to Cameron Cannon, and he fields it on a line drive for the 3rd out. Stuck out that glove hand and made the snag for out number 3. So, after 2 singles, the YD Red Sox leave a runner stranded. It is scoreless heading into the bottom of the 1st inning on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
The Colossal Lobster Rolls are back at the 99 restaurants. Visit today in Centerville, Falmouth.
Red Shirt Friday is a national program created to acknowledge, honor, and support our troops who put themselves in harm's way to defend our freedom. In support of this program, the Cape Cod Baseball League teams will be wearing a specially designed red jersey every Friday. Help support our troops and join us by wearing red each Friday here at Gov Fuller Field. You can pick up your own specially designed Falmouth Commodores red shirt in the merchandise shack, and while there, add a ribbon to our honor wall in support of someone who has served.
If you know the answer, head down to our intern tent, sponsored by Smith's Farm, who reminds you to eat your broccoli and submit your answer. Logan Davidson.
Starting things off is Logan Davidson. He's the designated hitter tonight, still in that leadoff spot. He was hitless in the contest last night versus the Harbor Hawks. He tries to hold up at the first pitch, but it was ruled a strike anyways.
Struck out 3 times as well. A night to forget for Logan Davidson.
This one cracked over to first. Playing there is Jonathan DeLuca. He'll underhand it to Michael Henley for out number 1. More on Henley. This is his second start of the summer. His first start was kind of like Will Etheridge's. He went 3 2/3, gave up 4 runs. 2 of them were earned, 6 hits, and 4 Ks.
Both Etheridge and Henley getting bailed out by their offenses in each of those games. Neither one received a decision. In Henley's, the Red Sox tied the Harbor Hawks 7-7.
This one is down into left field, and it will drop right at the wall. Maverick Hanley into second base. Doesn't that look familiar? Had a walk-off double last night. This one finds the corner right by the left field pole, and a stand-up double for Maverick Hanley.
He got way under it, so didn't get all of that baseball, but put it in just the right spot, right down the line, one hop the wall. No chance for Quinn Cotton to even get over there. And Maverick Hanley continues his tear. He extended his hitting streak thanks to last night's game in the 9th inning and extends it here in his very first at-bat.
Maverick Hanley, the hero last night after winning 3-0. The Falmouth Commodores were tied 3-3 heading into the bottom of inning number 9. Will Brennan leadoff single. Logan Davidson reached on a fielder's choice, so he ended up scoring that winning run. Ball number 1 misses inside to the center fielder, Austin Langworthy. Henley pitching from the stretch. This one is a strike, 1-1.
Langworthy, like Davidson, was hitless last night as well. 2 guys who looked like they were going to break out and then were held hitless by the Harbor Hawks pitching staff.
His 4-game hit streak was snapped last night. Hitters 1 through 3 went a combined 1 for 13 versus Hyannis, and that 1 hit didn't come until the bottom of the 9th inning. So before that, 0 for 12. Now a 2-1 count to Langworthy. Matthew Dyer stands up behind the plate. Gets down into his stance. Behind him is Bill Fisher. He's the home plate umpire. Joe Peters over at first, and Tim Carey at third. Runner in scoring position for Falmouth. This one is a strike on the inside part of the plate, 2-2.
Langworthy awfully patient up there at the dish. Henley not giving him a lot of good pitches to hit. Now has to protect 2-2. Again, just have to shoot one to the right side, and you'd be advancing Henley 90 feet at the least.
This one is cracked over to short. Fielding it is Christian Cosson. He will throw over to first base. So a 6-3 putout, but Maverick Hanley now stands just 90 feet away.
Good base running by Maverick. Decided to just book it right away. There's no chance for Koss, who sat back on it, was playing all the way back near the outfield grass near second base, so Hanley easily was able to take third without a throw. So Langworthy does ground out to the left side, but still does advance the runner.
Kyle Stowers now up, the big lefty who has been so good for the Commodores this season. A .333 average. He watches a ball inside. Was taken out of that second game of the doubleheader against the Chatham Anglers. Did not play against Bourne. Did not play last night against Hyannis. And he is in the cleanup spot tonight. First time all year he's been slotted at number 4. He's usually been 3 or 5. This one is roped into right field, and it will score a run. Maverick Hanley comes in for the first run of this game, and Kyle Stowers, just like that, is back in the lineup and in the hit column.
I just can't believe it. This guy, first time batting in the cleanup spot, 2 outs, runner on third, and already is contributing. Hasn't played in 3 days, and yet he ropes one into right field. Doesn't get lucky at all. He just straight up beats Henley. I can't believe it. He's just
It's
so
like he never
good.
left.
He is so good.
It's like he never
crazy.
left, yeah. So Kyle Stowers continues to have that average soar. He is on an absolute tear. 20 for his last 41 at-bats, just a shade below 500. This one by Wallner is chopped over to first base. DeLuca will take it himself, but Kyle Stowers says, welcome back. And he gets an RBI single, scores the first run of this game. Falmouth leads YD 1-0. We're heading into the top of inning number 2 on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network. Brad Beasley, the center fielder from San Luis Obispo, takes a first pitch strike on the outside part of the plate. Fastball from Etheridge can hit 92 to 94, but has struggled a couple times this year. We talked about his first start, as this one is roped deep into left field. Backtracking is Will Brennan, and he's going to watch it at the wall. It gets right by him. He throws in to short, and a stand-up leadoff double for Brad Beasley.
So what I'm seeing from Will Etheridge this game, and I mentioned it in the top of the first inning, he's going to have to hit his corners more. He's throwing a lot of too many pitches way over the plate, and he does it again there. That one right down the middle to Beasley. No wonder he ropes it into deep left. That's now the 3rd hit allowed through only 5 batters, similar to what Etheridge did his second time out at Brewster when he came in in a 5-0 game and allowed 4 hits, and all of them pretty big.
And 3 runs as well. Going into that 9th inning against Brewster, actually it was the 7th because it was a doubleheader game.
Oh, you're right.
So he came in the 7th inning against Brewster with a 5-0 lead, and all of a sudden it was very close. Runners on the corners with 2 outs for Brewster. So the winning run was at the plate. He was able to get out of the jam, and he was able to get out of the jam in the first inning thanks to Herbert Iser throwing out Jonathan DeLuca down at second base. Christian Koss goes around for strike number 1. Koss, the shortstop. from UC Irvine. Watches a ball downstairs, 1-1.
Koss batting .290 on the summer, coming off of a 2018 season with Irvine in which he batted quite similarly, .287 in all 52 games played.
5 of the 9 batters for YD tonight have double-digit RBIs. And they have no Campbell and no Dashback tonight. Showing bunt, but missing on it was Koss 1 and 2.
That's when he probably should have a fastball about letter high, but he poked the bat head out at it. Never want to do that when you're bunting. You just want to let the ball come to your bat. Instead, a lot of guys will try to force it. Koss did it there, and he showed couldn't get contact with the ball.
Koss with hits in 8 of his last 10 games. This fastball misses way outside, now 2 and 2.
That's where you want to miss if you're Will Etheridge. 1-2, you have a throwaway pitch. You don't want to leave the fastball over the plate. He did it to Bradley Beasley on 0-1. And that time, yeah, it went way outside, but hey, sometimes Koss may chase.
Righty-righty matchup. Etheridge looks back at Beasley. This one just low and outside, now a full count. First full count for either side tonight. Nobody out. Top of the second inning. Falmouth leads YD 1-0. This one is nubbed right in front of the plate, and Will Etheridge is going to take it. Will he have time to throw over to first? No, it's a wild throw. Coming around to score is Brad Beasley, and into second base is Koss. So this game is all of a sudden tied up.
Looked like Etheridge was going to have Koss over at first base, but instead he threw it up the line. It wasn't too bad of a throw, but there's nothing Kyle Stowers can do when the runner is running into you and the ball is coming right at him as well. Unless you want to sacrifice yourself and get knocked down going for that ball. It would have been better if Etheridge threw it a little bit closer along the second base side, but instead throws it away because Stowers couldn't get there in time.
So now the exact same situation, man on second base and nobody out. All of a sudden this game is tied. That is ruled a throwing error on Will Etheridge. First error of the night for either side. YD, a team that has struggled a lot in the field. Chasing is Nick Quintana.
Yeah, YD struggling in the field is an understatement. They have, what, 15 errors in their last...
12 errors in their last... No, you're right. 15 errors in their last 4 games.
Right, 15 in their last 4. 5 in their last one alone.
Yeah. 5 errors last night against Orleans. They did win 11-8, but we saw the 3 errors against Falmouth ended up costing them the game. It was 3 unearned runs. A couple balls to Quintana, now 2-1.
Etheridge looks like he's backing away from the strike zone now after he's been beat a couple of times.
Quintana batting .203. He watches one downstairs.
This honestly might earn an early visit from Coach Mike Landry after the amount of hits Etheridge has given up, and now that he can't quite find the zone, might be a matter of time of talking to him, getting him through this. Try to get out of the second inning with no more.
This one is back out of play. Count now full. Bobby, you got 2 pitches to go wrong. It's a full count. Just flash me 1 and 2. And then it's not. Quintana up at the plate with 2 strikes. All of a sudden we have a tie game, 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back to the dugout goes Quintana. First strikeout of the night for Will Etheridge.
Big strikeout as well. Runner on second base. Don't want it to be put in play or else he can possibly be over at third base with 1 out or less. Gets that strikeout. The failing to advance the runner is Quintana. Now down to the bottom of the order to try to at least advance the runner. Try to knock him in.
Zach Zubia now up at the plate. Righty-righty matchup. Zubia DHing tonight. Strike number 1. to another Texas Longhorn. Zubia played first base the last time these two teams squared off. So another late arriver. Had a 275 average last year down at UT. Kicking and delivering is Etheridge. This one is over to Cam Cannon. He'll field it and throw over to first base for out number 2. Cam Cannon looking natural over at short so far tonight.
That's similar to the one that was struck by Austin Langworthy back in inning number 1, in which Maverick Hanley advanced to third on. Christian Koss instead staying more conservative over there at second base, so he doesn't end up on third, but I think he could have. That was slowly hit. All he's got to do is dodge that baseball, and I don't think Cameron Cannon would have a shot at him over at third base with how long he waited for that ball to come to him. But Hanley, a better base runner than Koss on similar plays.
Strike number 1 to Matthew Dyer, trying to get out of this jam, having allowed only 1 run. And it was an unearned run because of the error by Will Etheridge. The 0-1 is fouled back. Will Etheridge's fastball is hitting 93 so far tonight, and he has his cutter, hard slider, that's 86, 87. Tie game here at Gov Fuller Field. This fastball high and outside for ball number 1.
Etheridge on 0-2, looking for the high cheese to get the strikeout, seeing a lot of fastballs from Etheridge. And like you said, some of those hard pitches, similar movement to fastballs.
Ball outside. Will Etheridge was coming off the mound. Herbert Iser was headed towards the dugout as well, but the count is now even at 2-2.
Looked like there was a tilt in the earth right there, because the entire right side of the infield started shading towards the dugout and all of a sudden had to go on back.
Matt Dyer had 3 hits in his debut, but only 6 since. This one is outside, can't be squeezed by Iser, but staying at second base is Christian Koss. We saw some plays like that from Iser's first start against the Red Sox as well.
Yeah, he kept just not being able to squeeze fastballs. They were popping right out of his mitt. He wasn't really burned on them at all, maybe just once, but they were pass balls that shouldn't have been.
A full count now to the 9-man. Runner in scoring position for the Red Sox. Strike number 3, no doubt about it. Dyer didn't like it, but it looked over the plate to me. Second strikeout of the inning. Second strikeout of the night for Will Etheridge. He faces 5 batters, allows 1 run, but it was unearned thanks to his own throwing error. Now a tie game heading to the bottom of the second on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Learning at Curry College extends beyond the classroom and is embedded in all that they do. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers and active citizenship with a global perspective. Explore undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations, including new majors in accounting, biochemistry, and software development online at www.curry.edu.
Cameron Cannon steps in to start the bottom of inning number 2, a 1-1 game here in Falmouth. Already more runs than we saw the last time these two teams squared off here at Gov Fuller Field.
Yeah, good thing for the Commodores as well. Don't want to fall back into that offensive slump they were on that 6-game losing streak. We were worried that that might happen after the game against Chatham, or the games against Chatham, I should say. But they did bounce back quite well.
A 1-1 count to Cameron Cannon. His teammate and roommate is on the Red Sox. That's Nick Quintana, and he's over at third base. This one is into right field, no doubt about it, and the third hit of the night for the Commodores, a leadoff single from Cam Cannon.
Cameron Cannon has been struggling as of late, but he's starting to get a lot better contact. That one, an impressive piece of hitting. He went down and got it. Looked like maybe a cutter or a changeup that he went and slapped into right center field. Good piece of hitting.
Now Herbert Iser up at the plate. He is a lefty. He's got a lot of power in that bat of his. Playing catcher tonight, Maverick Hanley's over at third. This ball runs inside from Henley. 1-0. Herbert Iser's father, Alfredo, defected from Cuba to Jamaica. Strike number 1 inside. You can catch that whole incredible story written by Greg Levinsky on our Commodores blog page. All you need to do is go to the Falmouth Commodores website, and the link to the blog corner is right there. Iser making only his second start. He was 2 for 4 in his debut against YD. He misses at this off-speed pitch, 1-2.
Herbert's lived just about everywhere. He was born in Jamaica, then moved to, I think it was Florida, and he then grew up in Miami, went to a couple different high schools in Miami, then moved all the way to Kissimmee, went to high school there, now goes to school in Texas.
Transferring from San Jacinto North, that's a junior college. Swing and a miss, strike 3 for Herbert Iser for the first out, and the first strikeout by Michael Henley tonight.
Henley had 4 Ks through 3 2/3. That's almost 4 innings his last time out, so we'd expect some more strikeout numbers, from him. But again, the first one coming here in the second.
Hayden Cantrell now up at the plate, batting only 154. Tied for the team lead in walks at 20. This one is roped down the right field line, but foul.
One of the very few times that Hayden Cantrell swings first pitch.
Yeah.
Coming right there.
And not often do we see that much power from Cantrell. He's only 5'10". This one is on the outside part of the plate, 0-2.
Well, he had that pretty convincing triple on opening night in Hyannis. That one was belted. I think it one-hopped the wall in right center. And since then, that's really been all his extra base hits.
He's down 0-2. Takes this one outside. Showing pickoff was the catcher Matthew Dyer, but coming back into the bag was Cameron Cannon. Will Brennan on deck. He had 2 hits last night. 3 Commodores with 2 hits. Sims, Julian, and Brennan. This one is upstairs, 2-2.
Davis Sims, of course, out of the lineup after getting 2 hits. Also out of the lineup that we forgot to note was Stephen Williams, who is the consistent designated hitter. He is replaced by Logan Davidson. Williams, who has that on-base streak of 17 games now.
This one is lifted into right field. In is Reese Albert. He has plenty of time, and he makes the catch. Cam Cannon trots back to first base. So after a leadoff single, 2 quick outs worked by Henley. Now the 9-hitter is up with a man on first.
We'll see if Will Brennan can stay hot, at least keep this inning alive. Not much of a power hitter is Brennan. He has a lot of singles on this season. He has 22 hits in total, and only 2 of them have been for extra bases. So he's more a singles hitter. Probably wouldn't see a run come through on any hit from him.
This is at-bat number 100 for Will Brennan. He is 22 for 99. 5 RBIs on the year. And he leads the West Division in at-bats. He's down 0-1 against Henley. This one is chopped down the third baseline towards Brett Becker, but it is foul.
So Will Brennan, 22 for 99. That's a 223 average. Think about it. Out of every 100 at bats, he roughly gets a hit 22 times. That's much lower than what he expected to do. We know that he's been working on his swing quite a bit, trying to break out of his schneid.
That average is climbing, though. This ball is high and outside. He's been right above 200, right below 200 for most of the year, sort of seesawing back and forth. But he has 2 straight games with 2 hits. Had 2 hits against Bourne, 2 hits last night against Hyannis. And he's been a mainstay in the lineup. That's why his at-bat numbers are so high. In left field tonight for Jeff Trundy. This one down the first base line, but no problem for Jonathan DeLuca. Second time he's ended the inning with a ground-out unassisted play at first base after allowing a leadoff single. Blair Henley works through Iser, Cantrell, and Brennan in order. It's still a tie game, 1-1. We'll be back for the top of the third on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Congratulations to head coach Jeff Trundy on his 20th season at the helm in Falmouth. He was the captain of the University of New Hampshire baseball team, inducted to the Maine Baseball Hall of Fame back in 2013, 2-time Coach of the Year in the Cape League, and coming off of back-to-back Western Division crowns. Congratulations, Coach, and we hope to see you for many more years.
David Hamilton, the leadoff man, will start off inning number 3. He flew out to Will Brennan to start this game, and he fires this one. That is snagged by Kyle Stowers. Over at the bag is Will Etheridge, but it is dropped by the pitcher. An outstanding effort by Kyle Stowers, diving for that one, but just not in time. Not sure if he would have been called out had Will Etheridge squeezed it, but nonetheless, a leadoff single for David Hamilton.
I don't even think that Will Etheridge didn't squeeze it. I think when he caught the ball, Hamilton collided into his glove and it knocked it out. Nowhere for Hamilton to go, so obviously it's not going to be interference. But that one was thrown directly into the bag. So a good throw by Stowers, but unfortunately when the runner is right there, he makes contact with the glove and knocks the ball out.
This one is fouled back by Jonathan DeLuca. He singled in the first inning, but then was caught stealing. DeLuca in his last 5 games has had 3 games with 3 hits. One of them was against Falmouth. David Hamilton is on first base. It looks like he might be dashing for second, but he did not try to steal. Now 0-2. You know what play I thought of, right, when you mentioned
the Alex Rodriguez batting it out of the glove. Yeah, I can't believe that he was called safe. Well, I was
no,
just,
they overturned it.
Well, initially is what I'm saying. I was just rewatching that. Is it on a 30 for 30 or something?
Yeah, well, it was in the ALCS, I believe.
Right.
So it was in that 4 days in October.
Okay. It was that year that happened?
I believe so. I'll double
I didn't
check.
even think he was a Yankee then.
No, he was. He was on the Yankees.
But anyway, I was rewatching that play just a couple weeks ago, and I was just flabbergasted that they called him safe initially. It was so blatant that he batted it out of the glove.
Running is Hamilton over to second base. Cantrell is going to have to throw over to first. Might have been a double play, but running on the pitch was Hamilton. So now a man on second base and 1 out for the three-man Quinn Cotton.
Yeah, unfortunate for Will Etheridge. He got exactly what he needed, but running was Hamilton, as you said. There's no chance for Hayden Cantrell to make that play. I think it would have been a tailor-made 4-6-3 double play, but alas, runner in scoring position and less than 2 out.
Yeah, it was Game 6, ALCS.
0-4.
Correct. Out of Bronson Arroyo's glove. Throwback to that guy.
I remember him as a Red mostly.
Yep. He was on the Reds for a while. This one is right at the knees to Quinn Cotton. He also singled in the first inning, but was left stranded. YD has now left 2 runners on base. They have 5 hits already, only in the top of the 3rd inning. David Hamilton with an extended secondary lead. He'll run over to third base on another play by Hayden Cantrell. Now 2 outs and a man on third.
Hayden Cantrell, who's been struggling with errors this season, he's tied for, or he is second now behind Edward Julian, his fellow second baseman. That one was sharply hit. Cantrell played it perfectly, but still looked into his glove because I think he thought it might have gone through his legs. He didn't have his glove completely touching the dirt, and he snagged it on a hop. And he looked down just to make sure because he knows himself, and he knows that it potentially squeaked through.
Hayden Cantrell, 5 errors on the season. That is second on the team. This one is low and into Reese Albert. He lined out to Cameron Cannon over at short. A loud out for the right fielder from Florida State. This one fouled back. 0-2. Excuse me, 1-1.
Thank God you don't go to Florida State. I don't know if I could have done that. That transfer that we did, that switcheroo. Would have been like wearing a Rangers t-shirt. New York Rangers, that is.
Right. Haley Blitch, our own team photographer from Florida State. This one on the inside part of the plate, 1-2.
Will Etheridge looking really sharp in this at-bat. He's not giving Albert too many good pitches to hit. The last one that Albert fouled away was probably his best option because now down 1-2, I would be surprised if Etheridge comes anywhere near the strike zone.
High and outside, right on cue. Now 2-2. Will Etheridge has limited his pitch count. He's up to 43 pitches. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That was a beautiful fastball that broke across the plate inside on Reese Albert. And after allowing a leadoff single of his own, he retires 2, 3, and 4 in order. Very similar to that last inning worked by Michael Henley. You'll see him back on the bump for the bottom of the 3rd on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
We'd like to recognize and thank the sponsors who support the Cape League and the 10 teams.
The Beach House Grill at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa is the perfect spot for a seaside lunch or evening clam bake. A proud member of leading hotels of the world.
On behalf of the YD Red Sox, the Falmouth Commodores, league officers, and the entire Cape League family, we'd like to recognize and thank our 2018 corporate sponsors. The Yawkey Foundation, Chatham Bars Inn, Curry College, Cape Cod Healthcare, the 99 Restaurant, Coca-Cola Bottle of Cape Cod, Cape Cod Potato Chips, Cumberland Farms, Baseball Factory, Dodger Sport, Cape Cod License Plates, 47 brand, Cape Cod 5-cent savings bank, leading off the Falmouth, the designated hitter from Falmouth, number 16, Logan Davidson.
Very similar game so far. Both sides had the leadoff man up to start the 3rd inning. It's Logan Davidson here for the Commodores. He goes around for strike number 1. Grounded out to the pitcher, Michael Henley, for the first out of the game on the Falmouth side. Then Maverick Hanley had a double and scored. Swing and a miss, strike 2 to Davidson.
Logan Davidson once again falling behind a couple of strikes. So difficult for him to have quality at bats when he's constantly falling behind 0-1, 1-2. Not even his own fault as well, just these pitchers coming at him and giving him a lot of pitches to hit.
30th pitch of the night is just outside 1-2. Henley has fired 21 strikes and only 9 balls. Giving up 3 hits to the Commodores. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout of the night for Henley. And first for Logan Davidson. He struck out 3 times last night and now 1 tonight.
Davidson now with a team-leading 25 strikeouts. That is officially in the lead. He was already 1 ahead of Davis Sims at 23, and 25 adding to that total. Real tough go of it this season for Davidson.
Ball number 1 misses downstairs to Maverick Hanley, who has been tearing it up lately. 2 hits in back-to-back games, and then the walk-off last night. Second walk-off of the year that we've seen. First was off the bat of Cameron Cannon. That was up the middle, a single that scored Kyle Stowers for a 7-6 win against the Cotuit Kettleers. Maverick Hanley caught up with Haley Blitch after the game, our team photographer from Florida State, your favorite school. And she asked him, what's going through your mind in these high-pressure situations? And he said, honestly, nothing.
Yeah, just straight up nothing.
Yeah.
And that's similar. We asked him the same question back in Chatham a couple weeks back when he hit the go-ahead home run, and we asked him, what's going through your head as you're rounding the bases? And he's like, I just honestly blacked out. He just blacked out from the joy of it all, from everything going on.
Hanley was ahead 2-0, and then has swung at 2 straight pitches. Count now even. Hanley working from the windup. This one is cracked over to shortstop Christian Koss with plenty of time on to first, out number 2.
Looks like Henley has settled in quite nicely now after giving up the double to Hanley and then the single to Kyle Stowers. Then a leadoff single to Cameron Cannon. He has retired the last 5 he's faced pretty handily as well. None of those counts going too deep. The deepest they've gone, 2-2.
Austin Langworthy up. He came into today batting 167. Has 8 RBIs, 3 of those coming on that 3-run jack against Bourne. He takes strike number 1. Kyle Stowers on deck with the RBI tonight for the Commodores. This one up the middle, but ranging over is Christian Koss. He was well positioned, and he makes his second straight putout. Second time that Austin Langworthy has grounded out to short. And a 1-2-3 inning. First 1-2-3 inning we've seen for either side. Brings up the top of the 4th. We'll be back in just a minute on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network. Bradley Beasley up for his second at-bat.
He had a stand-up double to start the top of the second inning. Will Etheridge attacks on the inside part of the plate and gets Beasley swinging. Beasley from San Luis Obispo. I'm going to say that every single time. His fastball's outside 1-1.
Our public address announcer, Bobby Krause, said that, and the first time that Beasley came up, and the way he said it, I was like, he's been waiting on that. He loves saying that. And then he turns off the microphone and he goes, boy, is that a mouthful. I was like, no way, you eat that up. I didn't buy it for a second, Bobby.
The 1-1 is fouled back. Bobby Krause will be on the mic tomorrow night for play-by-play.
He's a play-by-play guy for the Pac-12 network down in Tempe, Arizona.
Yep, Arizona State.
Arizona State Sun Devils, so he'll be showing off his chops here on the Cape.
This one in foul territory. Kyle Stowers is ranging over into the bullpen, but can't get there in time. Kyle Stowers at first base, but he's shown a lot of speed because he is an outfielder, right? He can move a lot. He has that versatility and that range. Made a nice stabbing play last inning, but it was a leadoff single for David Hamilton, and then all the way over into the bullpen in just a flash.
Yeah, he nearly booked over Scott Politz. Politz coming all the way near the on-deck circle to get away from him.
The 1-2 is fouled off of Beasley. Scott Politz is deactivated temporarily. If you look on point streaks, the Cape Cod League...
I'm sure you are. I'm sure everyone is looking at point streaks.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's our little industry secret.
Yeah, that's true. Point streaks, update stats, schedules, all that stuff. It says that Scott Politz was released, but he's still here, just deactivated for the time being. Appeal down to first base, and he went around. Oof. Brad Beasley called out for strike number 3, and my partner is grimacing.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it last night. Will Brennan, he was called on the go-around, but he held the bat up to the home plate umpire, and he said, look, wrist not broken, bat head not across. And right there, Beasley could have done the same thing. Yeah. Joe Peters down at first. At least they appealed this time. Joe Peters down at first making the call rather than the home plate umpire like last night, but he did not look like anything broke.
Strike number 1 on a fastball to Christian Koss. So now 4 strikeouts for Will Etheridge. That is his season high. This one is fouled back out of play, 0-2. Etheridge getting ahead in counts. He has now thrown 53 pitches, 38 of them for strikes.
Yeah, he's given up a good amount of hits, but like you said, throwing a lot of strikes, has not walked anybody yet, which is something you want to keep up, especially when guys are getting to you with their bats.
This one is just foul. First base coach for YD thought it might have been fair.
That's another one where I'm thinking that might have been fair. Looked like it, man, I don't know, maybe clipped some chalk, I thought.
Right. Will Etheridge has retired 7 of the last 8 batters he faced. This one is chopped over to third. Maverick Hanley fields it and slings it over to first. Coming off the bag is Kyle Stowers. So safe is the call. And kind of a wacky play for Maverick Hanley. First ground ball he's had all night. He was back on it and then had to throw as he was falling away.
Yeah, that was a really difficult throw, and I'm thinking Koss beats it out regardless, no matter if that throw is on a line like we're used to seeing from Hanley or whether it's up the line like it was just now.
Maverick Hanley has an absolute cannon behind the plate. 1 out, 1 man on, and this one is into left field. Raging over is Will Brennan. He will have to field it as it dribbles in. Throwing into second base is the left fielder. So coming all the way around to third is Christian Koss. Back-to-back singles for the Red Sox. They have men on the corners and only 1 out.
Good piece of hitting by Nick Quintana. We talk about Will Etheridge getting ahead in a lot of these counts. Well, if he's getting ahead so much, it means he's throwing strikes. Why not swing first pitch? Nick Quintana does just that, and he lines a nice one into left.
Quintana with a single. 13th hit of the year for the third baseman from Arizona. Brings up Zach Zubia. Grounded out to shortstop his last time up. Takes strike number 1 at the knees. Zubia batting .227. Only 3 RBI. One of those Texas Longhorns, along with David Hamilton and Michael Henley. All three of them starting tonight. He swings at this one a little bit of a three-quarter swing, too late to hold up, 0-2.
Last year, Zubia played in the Northwoods League for the, get ready for this name, the Rochester Honkers.
That's a good one.
I love that one. He had 22 home runs, was a home run derby champ as well.
Led the Northwoods League in home runs. He takes a ball upstairs. Northwoods League All-Stars just announced today.
I did not know that.
Now you do.
Thank you.
What does that have to do with you? Nothing, but I just wanted to say it. So, back-to-back singles for the YD Red Sox. Kyle Stowers ranging over in foul territory at the fence, but he cannot get there. Kyle Stowers is an ambitious first baseman.
I was about to say, he is not going to give up on a baseball. That one a good 10 feet into unplayable territory beyond that fence, and he still just booked it nearly full speed into there.
Will Etheridge now up to 60 pitches. This one is roped into center field. Tracking is Langworthy. He will make the catch, but tagging up from third is Christian Koss. A long throw in, but no play at the plate, not even close. And the YD Red Sox take a 2-1 lead.
Good job by Zubia, blasting that one into center field. Stayed up just long enough for Langworthy, the black hole out there, to make the grab. But this is another chance that Etheridge had. 2 strikes, has some throwaway pitches, gives way too good of a pitch to hit. Was ahead on Zubia 1 and 2, and that one catching a chunk of the plate, allowing Zubia to put it into center.
Matthew Dyer up with 2 outs for the second time tonight. He takes a ball outside. He struck out swinging his last time up. Dyer batting .237. He has 3 doubles on the year. So out of his 9 hits, 3 of them were 2-baggers. This one right on the inside part of the plate, and that was a foul ball that somehow snuck through the screen and hit our press box.
Yeah, it nearly went through the window. This window right next to me, to my right, in front of Greg, is open.
Wow.
And it hit the side pane. Greg almost had a souvenir.
Greg with a meek scream in here. Now I don't even know what he's doing. This ball is outside, 2-1. And that one landed right by the scouts.
Those scouts who are coming in fuller force.
In droves.
As the season wears on, as more and more of these desirable players come in from Omaha.
2-1 is fouled back. Well, now they don't have anywhere else to be, right? Because first couple weeks of the season, they're at Super Regionals. They're at the College World Series. But now it's the Cape League.
Northwoods League.
Alaska League.
NECBL. Just a bunch of leagues all over the place.
But really, the Cape League has been the crown jewel for a while now. 2-2 and 2 outs. Man on first base. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second time that Matthew Dyer has struck out swinging. 5th strikeout of the night for Will Etheridge. It's now his longest outing of the year. He gives up his first earned run here in the 4th inning, but that unearned run back in the 2nd is why the YD Red Sox lead the Falmouth Commodores 2-1. We'll be back for the bottom of inning number 4 on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Advanced Embroidery, Cape Destinations, Robert B. Hours. And of course, a special thank you to Major League Baseball for over 50 years.
Pitch number 1 to Kyle Stowers is swung at and missed. Stowers 1 for 1 on the night. He swings and misses at this outside breaking ball, 0-2.
He jumped on only the second pitch he saw all night in the first, roped it into right field for an RBI single. Jumps on these two as well. Why not? When you're swinging a hot bat like him, just keep it coming.
The 0-2 from Henley is upstairs. Stowers lays off that one. So he was 0 for 1 in Game 2 of that Chatham doubleheader. So that broke his stretch where he was on an absolute tear before. The 1-2 is outside.
I think he did go 0 for 3 in Game 1, if I'm not mistaken.
Because Falmouth had only 3 hits that game.
And
but
two
before
of them
that,
Hanley.
before that, Kyle Stowers had 8 of 9 games with 2 hits or more. Swung on and missed strike 3. It's a drop third strike, but Dyer comes out into the grass and throws over to first base for out number 1.
You can tell that Kyle Stowers is very eager to be back in the lineup, just with those 2 foul balls into unplayable territory where he nearly took off his head just trying to get over to those. And then right here, swinging a miss on the drop third strike, and he's immediately booking it down to first base. I think he just sensed that it was in the dirt, and he wanted to give himself a shot. So this is a guy who was out here to play.
Strike number 1 to Matt Wallner. He grounded out to first base to end the bottom of the first inning. This one is fouled back, and hitters 4 and 5 go behind 0-2.
Wallner, who had that awesome game against these Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox a couple days ago, had a 2-run home run in that game. Now pretty quiet. 5 for 20 on the season, a .250 average. Has not done much in that middle of the order here in this homestand.
So outside of that game, right, where he went 3 for 4, he has had 16 at-bats and only 2 hits. But he does have hits in his last 2 games. Had a double against Bourne, a single last night. He takes a ball high. Wallner, an outstanding college prospect. 6'5", 220, a big lefty with a lot of power. Great fielder as well. Ranked the number 10 2019 draft prospect by Baseball America. This one fouled towards the Falmouth dugout. Logan Davidson is number 4 on that list. Matt Wallner wears number 44, and he swings and misses at that one. Drop third strike as well, but Wallner does not run down to first base. 2 back-to-back strikeouts for Henley, and he has now retired the last 8 batters he's faced.
Henley is rolling. Had a 1-2-3 inning back in inning number 3. Now strikes out the first 2 batters he faces, 4 and 5 as well. Heart of the order going down pretty easily, except for that 1 base hit from Kyle Stowers back in the first inning. Henley rolling through this meat of the lineup.
Now Cameron Cannon is up at the plate. He singled to start off the second inning, and that's the last hit the Commodores have had. So Cannon, the shortstop tonight, is 1 for 1. He takes the ball high and inside. He is up in the count, 2-0.
Commodores, excuse me.
Comedies. I like that.
Thanks. Going to need more of that, getting ahead in counts rather than allowing Henley to get ahead. We saw Stowers and Wallner both fall behind 0-2. Maverick Hanley fell behind 0-2 in the third. Langworthy was down 0-1. Davidson down 0-2. That's why Henley has been running roughshod the last couple of batters.
3-0 count, and it's downstairs, a 4-pitch walk. And the first walk of the night by either pitcher came all the way in the bottom of the 4th inning, so it's been a pretty clean game so far outside of the 1 error. Brings up Herbert Iser.
That's what I like to see. I like to see pitchers who can deal and who challenge hitters, and then hitters who are going to fight right back. And we've seen that tonight with the first walk coming only in the 4th. Of course, if you're on one of these sides, you want to be walking a lot more, just getting base runners whenever you can. But as a spectator, a lot more enjoyable to see hits and to see strikeouts rather than just free passes.
Herbert Iser struck out his first time up. That was the first strikeout of the night for Henley. He did it on 4 pitches, but Watches ball number 1 outside. Hayden Cantrell is on deck. This one is low, 2-0. So after 2 strikeouts to hitters 4 and 5, Henley has fired 6 straight balls.
Yeah, real surprising. I don't know why, or I don't know what has gotten into his head all of a sudden. But against 6 and 7, excuse me, he has shied away from them, to say the least.
The 2-0 is inside and can't be fielded by Dyer. Down to second base is Cameron Cannon. And all of a sudden, the Commodores have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
Commodores, a team that hits with 2 outs so well. So many of their runs all season have come with 2 outs as part of 2-out rallies. Looking for one here to get back into this game. They've been out hit 7-3, so they could use some timely hits.
Herbert Iser came into today batting .286. This is only his 3rd start. And this one is outside. 8 straight balls, 2 straight 4-pitch walks.
I'm shocked. And we're going to see a visit from the pitching coach because something has just happened with Henley where he looks like he short-armed those last 2 pitches to Iser. That breaking ball that got away from Matthew Dyer behind the plate looked like it wasn't full extension from Henley. And then, of course, that last fastball that was nowhere near the plate on 3-0. Again, looked like he short-armed it a little bit. Looked like he was aiming too much just to try to get it over.
This is Dan Jaffe, pitching coach for the Red Sox. First season at Yarmouth Dennis, graduated from Pacific College.
Hayden Cantrell.
Pacific University, excuse me. That is in the West Coast Conference, I believe.
Your guess is as good as mine. I was just about to ask you.
I'm looking down to see if I can get any affirmation. From same conference as Gonzaga and...
Pacific?
Yeah. Yeah. Ball number 1 outside. Now 9 straight balls. We'll be keeping an eye on this.
Yeah, I don't know if Henley is dealing with something, maybe a blister, but it's very rare that you see a guy just all of a sudden throw this many balls in a row, especially after those first 2 strikeouts.
Now 10 straight. Henley all of a sudden can't find the strike zone after 2 strikeouts to maybe the 2 best hitters on the team, Stowers and Wallner, at least in the lineup tonight because Williams is not there. A 2-0 count to Hayden Cantrell.
Got to think Cantrell has the red light. You have to prove to him now that you can hit the strike zone if you're Henley.
This one high and outside, ball 3. He hasn't thrown a strike since Matt Wallner was up at the plate. It's been 11 straight balls. Hayden Cantrell with 2 men on. Watches a strike on the outside part of the plate, 3-1, and finally Henley breathing a sigh of relief. So his pitch count was at 48 before he threw those 11 straight balls, and he had 34 balls, 14 strikes, now up to 25 balls and 35 strikes. The 3-1 to Hayden Cantrell is outside, ball 4. 3 straight walks. And Danny, right when you said you don't like to see free passes, all of a sudden, Commodores have the bases loaded because of it.
Right, I'm sure the Commodores are happy, but I mean, the players in the field, just think about them, you know, standing out in right field, say you're Reese Albert, and just watching this over and over and over again, ball after ball after ball. It's like you're kind of back in Little League again.
Bases juiced for Will Brennan. He's been coming into his own lately. 2 straight multi-hit games. Had a big hit last night in the bottom of the 9th. This one is downstairs in the dirt, blocked by Dyer. 1-0.
I think that's a slider, maybe a slurve that has such sharp movement from Henley. Would be really good if he just kept it up a little bit more to a lefty that would totally handcuff you, and he would swing right through. But instead to Brennan, thrown 57 feet, and Dyer had to make the nice play.
This one is on the outside part of the plate, 1-1.
When he does hit the strike zone, it is on the outer part of the plate, which is Will Brennan's wheelhouse. He's so good at slapping fastballs to the left side. So this should work in Brennan's favor if he sees a good diet of strikes.
A 1-1 count. Henley delivers, and this one is down the first base line, fielded by DeLuca. He taps first base, and it is now the third time that he has ended an inning with a ground ball that right to him, and he's just trotted over to first, and all of a sudden, Commodores leave the bases loaded. Danny, we're going to keep it here during this break.
Let's do it.
And we have a little picture-in-picture in action coming up. We are out of those T-shirts.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I wanted to keep it here was to sort out this whole Pacific University thing. I know that it was not the time and the place to mention it with the bases loaded. But
I forgot about it.
Yeah, I didn't. So the assistant coach, Dan Jaffe, went to Pacific University. That is a D3 school. I was thinking of the University of the Pacific, which is in the West Coast Conference.
That's one I've never heard of.
So I've always just known of it as Pacific.
Uh-huh.
So I saw, oh, Pacific University. That's the one that plays Gonzaga in basketball, but it was a different one. Anyways, now we're going to break down what just happened because a really wacky bottom of the fourth inning. 2 strikeouts, then 3 walks, then a ground out.
Right, so I kind of expected Will Brennan to be out. I just knowing, well, nothing against Will Brennan, but I just knew that at a certain point Henley would have to buckle down.
Okay.
And when you have the stress of 3 guys on base, and you know it's got to be right now, then I knew that it was bound to happen. There's no chance that you were going to continue to throw 11 straight balls without being some type of injury or something like that. And the pitching coach would have known if there was an injury.
It was like on a switch, right? Because he had the greatest start to his inning that he's had tonight. 2 straight strikeouts to Stowers and Wallner, 2 guys with a lot of power. But then all of a sudden he just couldn't find the strike zone.
Exactly, and that might be good news for the Commodores because I didn't think that Henley was going to make too many more mistakes, at least by giving up hits, maybe the walks.
Right.
But I didn't think he was going to give up too many more hits. And then now, with all those walks and getting his pitch count up, they have already a guy working over in the bullpen. They might have to go to somebody else before, the 6th inning even. Good news for the Commodores because they hit bullpens awfully better than they do starters.
It's Braden Fink warming in the pen. We'll keep an eye on that. Will Etheridge is going to be back on the mound for the Commodores. You can take a look at the bullpen and at some of the fans, and now you can take a look at us here on Halloween night.
Well, what we got to see out of Etheridge is he just cannot throw that many strikes. And I know that's so counterintuitive. You want us to throw strikes, but he is catching way too much plate. He's not hitting those corners. He's leaving balls. I dropped my pen. He's leaving balls right over the middle of the plate, which is why it's making it so easy for these YD Red Sox to get solid contact.
He's allowed a hit in every inning, and we will now get it back to the field. Laying down a bunt was David Hamilton, but it was foul. So strike number 1 starts off this top of the 5th. Will Etheridge still on the bump for the Commodores.
Etheridge still without a walk allowed.
We're having a little bit of camera malfunction, so we will call the game as if it were an away broadcast. Ball number 1 outside, 1-1 the count. David Hamilton 1 for 2 on the night. He singled in the 3rd and flew out in the 1st. This ball is high, 2-1.
Boy, just watching that camera zoom from spot to spot has given me vertigo.
Really?
Dizzying.
The 2-1 is cracked into left field, but right there is Will Brennan. He makes the catch over his shoulder. Second time that Hamilton has flown out to left field.
And really, besides the strikeouts, every single piece of contact that the Red Sox have made, whether it's been for an out or whether it's fallen for a hit, have been hard contact. That one from Hamilton was roped. I thought it might have a chance to fall for a hit. Stayed up just long enough for Will Brennan. But like I said, Will Etheridge giving up sharp contact. That's why there's 7 hits on the board.
7 hits for the Red Sox, but only 2 runs. Swinging at the first pitch was Jonathan DeLuca. He is down 0-1. DeLuca from the University of Oregon, batting .333 coming into today. And he does have one of those 7 hits. It was a single back in the 1st. This breaking ball misses outside. Swing at that low pitch. It's 1-2. More on Etheridge. Last year in the Cape League, he had 12 strikeouts over 14 innings, so it was about a strikeout per inning. He has 5 tonight. This one is down the first baseline, but foul. So low strikeout numbers before tonight, but now maybe getting into his own, settling down on the mound.
Well, what I've liked is that he's gone to good pitches when he has gotten those strikeouts. I mean, there have been a lot of counts of 0-2, 1-2, in which he's let up sharp contact, but then there's also been a lot of instances, 3-2, 2-2, where he doesn't make a mistake. He just decides, let me go after this guy, let me give him a mean fastball, dare him to hit it. He ended the last inning against Matthew Dyer with a swinging strikeout with a beautiful cutter. I think it was actually a two-seam, beautiful two-seam that ran upstairs.
Ball high, 2-2.
Again, here's a 2-2 count where I would be surprised if Etheridge just doesn't tackle him and say, here's a fastball, I dare you to hit it.
Looked like he went with a fastball low, now a full count. Etheridge has not issued a walk yet tonight, but neither did Henley until the bottom of inning number 4, and he issued 3 in a row. Etheridge from the windup. This one is fouled back. Count will remain the same.
Herbert Iser just couldn't squeeze that one. DeLuca got enough on it that he avoids being a strikeout victim, the 6th of the night for the Red Sox.
3-2 the count, 1 out. Bases are clear. This one is into shallow right field. Hayden Cantrell stabbing at it, and he somersaults, but he can't make the catch. Hayden Cantrell looked like he was backtracking at first, wasn't sure where it was going to land, and it was just past his outstretched glove. Second single of the night for DeLuca.
Real good piece of hitting from DeLuca. Looked like a two-seam to a right-hander, which of course breaks over on the inside corner, and he cracked it on the inner half, or excuse me, to a left-hander, so it broke over the, still broke over the inside, but he inner hands, skinny part of the barrel, and he just got enough of it, just showing off his strength to poke it over Hayden Cantrell's sprawling body.
And this will bring a visit from Mike Landry, and that's going to do it for the night for Will Etheridge. He works through 4 1/3. He's responsible for the man on first base. And coming in is the righty Logan Reinhardt from California Baptist. We will keep it here during this pitching change.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in to pitch for the
Logan
Commodores,
Reinhardt pitched against the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox the last time these two teams played. Gave up the first run of his summer, but it was unearned. Reinhardt with a 2.57 ERA during his sophomore year at Cal Baptist, a 5-1 record. 2 saves, 49 innings pitched. He will throw some warm-up pitches to Herbert Iser.
So now it is up to the bullpen to secure this game the rest of the way. They've got their work cut out for them, only the top of the 5th inning, but this is a very competent Falmouth bullpen. They have looked so sharp all season, and we were doing the math last night. They have a 3.60 about ERA, which close to 4, not all that flashy, but here in the Cape League, when bullpen guys kind of thrown in and out at will, some of them become starters, some of them are starters who get thrown to the bullpen, some of them leave and come back. It's just so much turnover in bullpens that 3.6 is honestly really, really sharp, and that Falmouth bullpen has been so consistently good. They've been so reliable. Logan Reinhardt, one of those guys.
Couple more pitchers on the way for Falmouth as well. One from Dallas Baptist, one from Notre Dame. As some of these guys hitting their innings limits, approaching their innings limits. And one thing we've learned is in the latter half of the year, latter quarter of the year, I should say, going into the playoffs, it's important to have a bevy of arms. Because sometimes these college coaches come calling, or there are unforeseen circumstances, guys come and go.
Yeah, you never know who is going to have to leave. Out in New Orleans just the other day, either yesterday or the day before, Andrew Abbott from the University of Virginia, he pitched his last game, and he had a 1.54 ERA, I want to say. I might be missing that. He was right around 1.5 ERA. He had to go back to school because of an innings limit.
First pitch from Reinhardt misses outside to the righty Quinn Cotton. Cotton 1 for 2 on the night. This is the 6th appearance of the summer for Logan Reinhardt. He gave up his first earned run
In his last outing against the Bourne Braves, it was a 5-2 win for the Commodores, first time that they had beaten Bourne all season. This one is going to get between left and center, rounding second, coming into third, and coming all the way around to score is going to be Jonathan DeLuca. Quinn Cotton with a beautiful double right in between right and center, and YD expands their lead to 3-1.
Cotton couldn't have placed that in a better spot, directly splitting the right fielder Matt Wallner from the center fielder Austin Langworthy, and it was hit sharply that it was able to get into that gap, but also hit softly enough that it managed to roll in between them all the way to the fence. Looked like Wallner got a late start on that, not as quick as Stowers typically is, who normally plays right field. So that one, his ball, but he couldn't cut it off in time. He went all the way to the wall, allowing DeLuca to score.
Curveball to Reese Albert, strike number one. He is one of only 3 men that is hitless tonight for Yarmouth Dennis. It's Albert, and then the bottom 2 guys, Zubia and Dyer. Quinn Cotton with 2 hits, Christian Koss with 2 hits. Fanning at this one is Reese Albert, 0-2. So Etheridge's line is now final because DeLuca is off of the base paths. 4 1/3, 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, and 5 strikeouts. Quinn Cotton in scoring position. The 0-2 is a beautiful changeup. Sat down on 3 pitches is Reese Albert. He's 0 for 3 on the night, now 2 outs.
Reese Albert, who came into tonight batting .340, now held quiet, held hitless, 0 for 3 through 5 innings now, and he struck out in his last 2 at-bats, both times swinging. Back in the third on a high fastball, this one on a beautiful changeup, as you said, from Reinhardt.
Beasley now steps in. He had the first run of the night for YD. This is a fastball, strike number 1. Beasley batted .277 during his sophomore year. 13 doubles, 3 home runs. Reinhardt settles, kicks and delivers. This one down in the dirt. And almost scary similar numbers between freshman and sophomore year for Brad Beasley. Both years he had 33 runs. Both years he had 62 hits. Both years he had 13 doubles.
It's like a robot.
That's crazy.
It's like a machine.
The 1-1 is up the middle. That will drop into center field. Austin Langworthy with a huge throw to the plate, but Quinn Cotton is going to score the 4th run of the game. Throw down to second to try to get Beasley, but it's not in time. So a single, and he advances on the throw. Beasley now the 3rd Red Sox with 2 hits on the night, and the 2nd earned run of the summer for Logan Reinhardt. YD now leads 4-1.
Just mistaken location there from Logan Reinhardt. Caught way too big a chunk of the plate, and Beasley made him pay. Good pitch and a better pitch to hit that paid off for Beasley. So now a 4-1 game in favor of the YD Red Sox. Logan Reinhardt already been burned twice.
2 outs and a first pitch ball to Christian Koss. He has singled both times up. Singled in the 2nd. That one was a soft grounder in between home and the pitcher's mound, but Will Etheridge threw it away down at first, so he advanced to second on the throwing error. The 1-0 is low, and Herbert Iser's going to come out to talk to his teammate.
I think Reinhardt, like Etheridge, back in inning number 2, seeing how he's given up a couple of hard-hit balls, now avoiding the strike zone. These guys just have to find the middle ground. Don't want to catch too much plate. Don't want to miss the plate entirely. Hit those corners, shave those corners. See if you get a couple close calls from home plate umpire Bill Fisher to go your way.
2-0 count to Koss. Reinhardt with a quick look back at Beasley. This one is stopped in the dirt, now 3-0. Reinhardt came into tonight with a 1.29 ERA over 7 innings. That's going to be moving up a little bit. He's given up 1 run in this 3rd of an inning that he has pitched. 3-0 to the shortstop from UC Irvine. There's a curveball that misses outside. It's a 4-pitch walk, and now runners on first and second. YD trying to add to their total here in the 5th inning.
Breaking ball from Reinhardt. He threw back-to-back after falling behind 2-0. Both of them missing way low and in the dirt. Doesn't look like his breaking ball is quite there. It's going to have to be a heavier diet of fastballs, just challenging these hitters, trying to hit your spots.
Now 5 straight balls from Logan Reinhardt. So we've seen this before, right? This is something that I think is so common with pitchers at this level, is after they get hit around, they really miss the strike zone. They're scared to get hit around more. This one outside part of the plate for a strike.
It's a perfect fastball. He hit just the right spot. He just has to rely on his fastball more. And he threw 3 straight breaking balls that all fell for balls to Koss and then Quintana. Just go back to the fastball.
1-1 count. Beasley on second, Koss on first. There is that fastball for strike number 2. 1 strike away from ending this inning. This is the only half-inning frame where a team has put up more than 1 run. 2 and counting for the Red Sox here in the top of the 5th. They lead Falmouth 4-1. Already 10 hits for YD. Quintana down 1-2. He singled his last time up. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout for Logan Reinhardt. But he does allow a couple of hits, and YD adds 2 to their total. They lead Falmouth 4-1. We'll be back for the bottom of the 5th on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Hey kids, mark your calendars for Autograph Night, July 14th and July 31st. All kids are invited to participate in Autograph Night, but if you're a member of the Kids Club, you'll be lined up first. If you've not already signed up for Kids Club, please stop by the intern tent. It's only $20 for the entire season.
As well as half of the 50-50 sales tonight. Last year, number 16, Logan Davidson.
Bottom of inning number 5. Logan Davidson will be the first man up at the plate for the 3rd time tonight. Led off the 1st, led off the 3rd. Now here in the 5th. Takes a curveball on the inside part of the plate. 0-1. Henley still on the bump for YD. He now has a 3-run cushion to work with. This one downstairs.
I'm excited to see what Logan can do ahead of counts. I talk about it a lot, but it's important. He falls behind a lot of counts and then has to protect the plate. If you give him a 2-0, 3-1 cushion, who knows what he can do.
Big cut at that off-speed pitch. He's down 1-2. Davidson, the outstanding shortstop from Clemson University. Batted .210 last summer here in Falmouth. Came into today batting .192. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Now, 5 strikeouts in his last 8 at-bats. 2 strikeouts tonight, both of them swinging.
Logan is visibly frustrated out there on the field. He has been for a couple games now, maybe even the past week. He's not hitting where he wants to be. He's well below 200, and he knows it.
Hanley takes a curveball for strike number 1. He had a double back in the 1st inning. One of only 3 hits for the Commodores. They're getting out hit 10-3.
So Hanley 1 for 3 on the day. He watches this one low.
Just a matter of domination going on for the Red Sox. Again, out hitting the Commodores 10-3, outscoring them 4-1. Pitchers have been getting out of jams. Really not been a lot to cheer about for the Doors.
This curveball goes over Maverick Hanley's head. He had to duck down. He's now ahead in the count 2-1.
But hey, we've seen this team come back from big deficits before. They were being completely outplayed by the Katuitt Kettleers their first time against them back in June. Had a 6-run fifth inning, tied up the game. 5-run fifth inning, excuse me, tied up the game, and then later won the game in extras.
Falmouth has had some very close contests this year. Their last 2 games decided by 3 runs or less. The 2-2 is upstairs, full count.
Tough take by Maverick Hanley. That one just above the letters. Juicy looking pitch when it's a fastball on the inner half like that. Good eye.
Going off of those close game stats, 5 of their last 6 games have been decided by 3 runs or less. Hanley works a walk. He trots down to first base. So a 1-out base runner for the Commodores for Austin Langworthy, who's grounded out to shortstop both times he's been up.
Langworthy, a guy like Davidson, who just has a tough time getting ahead in counts and has a tough time connecting with balls with baseballs, in a strong way. He often gets on top of them or he pops them up really high. It's really few and far between where he gets real strong contact.
Nice stop by Dyer, keeps Hanley at first base. Langworthy batting 167 this summer. Does have a home run and a double, so he has some of those hard-struck balls you were talking about, and a couple loud outs as well, but then some ground outs and some strikeouts as well. Langworthy only a strikeout victim 9 times this summer, so he makes contact quite a bit. He watches this curveball for a strike. Austin Langworthy, the walk-off hero in the Super Regional for Florida. A walk-off solo shot in Game 3 of that series. Running is Hanley. This one fouled back. They tried the hit and run. Hanley with 5 stolen bases. That is 3rd on the team behind Cantrell and Will Brennan.
I think you're right. Did look like a designed hit and run on 1-1 between Langworthy and Hanley. But again, Langworthy gets a good pitch to hit. Fastball catches a chunk of the outside corner, but couldn't get the full bat head on it and fouled it away.
Again, a nice stop by Dyer. Count now 2-2.
Kyle Stowers is on deck. Get a couple of ducks on the pond for him. Who knows what can happen. This team down 3, could use a big inning. Again, there's still a lot of time to go, so they could just chip away, see what they can do in the long run.
2-2 check swing. Did he go around? Running is Hanley. And he will walk down to first base. That was not ball 4. So a full count. Austin Langworthy saying it hit him.
He seems pretty convinced as well. Initially, he checked his swing and looked back to make sure that he did not go around, and then he started jogging down to first base saying it hit his foot.
And now Maverick Hanley is frozen between first and second. It looks like he got tagged out. So there's going to be...
He was going back to first base.
He was. But if it was called that it did not hit him, and he went over to second base and then started trotting back to first, he is fair game to be tagged out.
I think he thought that Langworthy fouled it. I think that's what's going on. Complete miscommunication from the umpires. The home plate umpire, Bill Fisher, was trying to explain to Austin Langworthy that he was not, in fact, hit by the ball, and then the way Langworthy was talking, I think Hanley thought that he fouled it.
Langworthy's taking his helmet off, and he's down at the dugout. He should still be up at the plate. This is absolute chaos right now.
I think he's miscalculated how many outs there are. Jeff Trundy's trying to get an answer for it. I'd like an answer as well, because I'm kind of partial to Maverick Hanley. He was just completely confused. Maverick Hanley's a brilliant guy. He wouldn't be one to just walk off of second base and head back to first like nothing's happening. He wouldn't be caught like that. There had to have been something said to him, most likely by either Joe Peters or Tim Carey, the umpires in the field, as to why he would have gotten off the base. I would assume that there was some miscommunication.
Three-man conference right now. It's head coach Jeff Trundy, now in his 20th year as the head coach of the Commodores. Bill Fisher, the home plate umpire, and then the third base umpire, Tim Carey. So Trundy's going to walk back to the dugout. Base is now clear, 2 outs and a full count. So we'll walk you through what happened. It was a 2-2 count and a check swing on a low pitch by Austin Langworthy. He said that it hit him. Maverick Hanley was running on the pitch. He was safe down at second. Austin Langworthy made towards first base because he thought he was hit. He had a conversation with Bill Fisher. He said, no, that one didn't hit you. That's ball 3. Maverick Hanley thought it was either fouled back or something like that, started walking back to first, and he was tagged out. So the second out of the inning with him on the base paths.
And I'm also not completely sold that it didn't hit Langworthy, because that one looked awfully close, and the way that it bounced away from home plate looked like it might have hit him on the foot, like he said.
So a full count. This one is roped into deep left field. Backtracking is Cotton at the wall, and he's going to watch it over his head. It's a solo shot. Austin Langworthy, his second home run of the year. Maybe a little bit of fury in that one. It's a 4-2 ball game.
Yeah, he made quick work around the base paths and quick work back into the dugout. He does look frustrated that it's not a 2-run shot. That would have put the Commodores in only a 1-run game, would have made it 4-3. Instead, it's 4-2. But still, Langworthy muscling it out of here. He got way underneath that one and still put it a good 10, 15 feet over the left field fence.
Brings up Kyle Stowers, now 4-2 YD. This one is up the middle. Back-to-back hits for the Commodores, and all of a sudden, they might have a little fire under their tuchus. 4-2 is the score, and a man on first base.
Yeah, you could hear the dugout. They're in an uproar after the Langworthy home run and now the Stowers single. The crowd's getting back into it, and I called them a team that was being dominated by the YD Red Sox, and now, like you said, a little fire underneath them, and they look like they're a team that is right back in this game.
Matt Wallner up now with a man on first. He struck out his last time up. He watches a ball high and outside.
So you use the singular tuchus. Do you think it's tukai?
Well, the thing is, I know the PG-13 R version of that phrase, right? Light a fire under there.
Right.
Blank.
Right. But you use tuchus.
I use tuchus.
A great
They're
word.
collective tuchus.
Okay. I'm thinking that there's got to be a plural in there, like tukai. Or tuchuses.
Little Latin.
Yeah.
This one down the first base line, fielded by DeLuca. Now 4th time that DeLuca has had a ground out to him to end the inning. Falmouth does add a run on the solo shot by Austin Langworthy after an absolutely wild play where Maverick Hanley was tagged out on the base paths. He gets his solo shot, his second home run of the year, his 9th RBI. Falmouth adds 1. They still trail YD 4-2.
Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute care hospitals and more than 450 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Zach Zubia up to start the 6th inning. Logan Reinhart out for his first full inning of work. He came in with 1 out in the 5th, excuse me. Ball number 1 inside to the DH. He is 0 for 2 on the night.
We saw him over at first base the last time these two teams faced off over at Red Wilson Field, and he made a couple errors.
Correction on Zubia. He's 0 for 1 because he had the sac fly in the 4th inning that scored Christian Koss. At the time, it was the go-ahead run. They've added a couple runs since, now 4-2. This one chopped down the third baseline and foul.
So I said it last inning, Commodores could use a big inning, or they could just chip away in the long run and try to fight out a win. They've chipped away in the 5th, put together 1 run. Now only down 2. See if Reinhardt can work a clean inning.
Ball outside. Reinhardt thought it was a strikeout. 2-2. On deck is Matthew Dyer, who has struck out twice tonight. This ball is upstairs, now a full count. Eight, 9, and 1 due up here in the 6th inning. This is ball 4 and the second walk issued by Logan Reinhardt.
Boy, that breaking ball has really not looked sharp. Looked like a curveball once again that broke way outside and way in the dirt to Zach Zubia. Reinhardt all day, his curveball has been one of his more constant pitches, and it just hasn't been hitting the strike zone.
4-2 game, thanks to Austin Langworthy's solo shot. Absolutely killed it to the opposite field out in left. And I think that was really a fury shot. He was frustrated, upset, what have you, up at the plate.
He was angry his teammate was called out.
And he took it all out on the ball.
He was angry he didn't get the hit by pitch call, but in hindsight he's happy with it.
This bunt is laid down by Dyer. Fielding it is Reinhardt over to first. Covering is Hayden Cantrell. Nice heads-up play by the second baseman. And now all of a sudden, a runner on second base and 1 out for the start of the order for YD, David Hamilton.
Hayden Cantrell is probably the best player in the field to watch if you're a young kid learning the game, because he's not the flashiest. He'll make a couple errors, those physical mistakes, but he never will make a mental error. Right there, that was a huge spot where Stowers, Iser, and Reinhardt all going for the bunt, and Hayden Cantrell is the only one over there at first base, but he knows his job, and he got there quickly to record the out.
Herbert Iser knows that this is an important at-bat. 1 out here in the 6th, and a man in scoring position. Falmouth trying to chip away at this deficit. They are behind by 2. Mike Landry is going to go out to talk to Reinhardt. So Herbert Iser will come out yet again. And it looks like this is going to be a call to the pen. It's going to be Pat McGowan.
Reinhardt, guess Landry didn't like what he saw out of Reinhardt. Maybe didn't like the matchup that was coming up with this top of the order. We saw Reinhardt came in to face about the middle of the order and led up a double to Quinn Cotton, a single to Bradley Beasley a couple batters later. So not the brightest outing from Logan Reinhardt, but he got the job done, eating up a couple of innings, only allowing 1 run.
Pat McGowan has been improving throughout the season, to quote Jeff Trundy. In his last 3 1/3 innings, he's had 2 appearances and has not given up an earned run. You've seen those earned run numbers slowly dwindle as his appearances have gone on. Was a starter at the beginning of the year. Gave up 5 runs in his first start, 2 in his second. Then was moved to the bullpen, and now has been used in middle relief. Pitched 2 1/3 against Chatham on Tuesday. Struck out 3, walked 3, but didn't give up a hit.
That's important also. We see the earned runs going 5-2-1, then double zeros in the last 2 games. Also the hit counts. First outing, 5 hits allowed, then 3 hits, then 2 hits, but then Bourne and Chatham, 2 days apart, 0 hits allowed. So he's looking a lot better from the bullpen, maybe a little more comfortable from there, eating up less time.
doesn't have much going on in his head other than just attack the next guy. You don't have to worry about the long run, conserving your pitches, anything like that a starter would have to deal with. And against two solid hitting teams as well in Bourne and Chatham, keeping them hitless in his 3 1/3 total that he pitched.
7.44 ERA over 9 2/3. Now trying to finish out this inning, maybe start the next inning as well. We will see. So with Maverick Hanley at third and Herbert Iser behind the plate, Carson Spires did the bullpen catching.
Right, because you got two catchers playing in the field.
Right.
Those are the only two catchers besides Stephen Williams who's on your roster. We don't know why Williams wasn't doing the bullpen catching. Instead, it was Carson Spires.
Yeah.
Maybe he was a catcher back in his heyday in high school.
Maybe Carson wanted to.
Yeah.
Who knows?
All you got to do is catch a ball, right?
Right. Jeff Trundy comes out for another conversation with home plate umpire Bill Fisher.
Curious what this one is about.
A little bit of a delay here in Falmouth, Massachusetts. So you know what we'll talk about?
What are we going to talk about?
The weather. Gorgeous day.
Another beautiful night. We had that one rainout, last week?
Yeah.
And then ever since then, it has been absolutely immaculate here in Cape Cod. You're right. I should knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
Because
we can't afford too many more rainouts.
No, we can't. We'll have a bunch of double headers on our hands. And
yeah.
Those are tough on the players. They're tough on us as well. It's a lot of talking. But as I was saying, the weather report said, there might be rain in the forecast this weekend. Says it should hold off for the nighttime, the middle of the nighttime.
Yeah.
So hopefully that stays the same. Imagine having 2 straight weeks of just baseball.
I love it.
Couldn't get better.
I love it.
We have the best jobs in the world. Well, internships in the world.
Good, what's the word I'm looking for? Qualification there. 68 degrees and sunny. Take a look at that sky on your screen. Is that beautiful or what? Some clouds out over the trees in center and left field. And maybe some sarcastic applause from the dugout after we are finally underway. McGowan looks into Iser, looks back at Zubia on second, kicks and delivers, showing bunt was Hamilton, but he pops it back to the screen.
So now we're back to baseball. We have had our fill of David Walt Whitman Korzenowski talking about the beautiful nature here.
More of a throw guy myself.
Brought Walden up here.
Yeah. Walden Pond is very close to me. Great place to walk around. This one down the third base line, but foul. So 0-2 because of 2 bunt attempts that were unsuccessful. You got a favorite book?
I think everybody's got a favorite book.
So what's your favorite book?
It's actually a Stephen King book. Not the biggest fan of Stephen King,
okay.
but one book that really is powerful is 11/22/63.
Yep.
You heard of that one?
Yeah, they made it into a TV show, didn't they?
Hulu miniseries.
Yeah.
I'm watching it right now. I don't enjoy it.
Okay.
But I'm booking through it
That's
anyway.
what they always say. Books are better than the movies,
Right.
TV shows, what have you.
Yeah.
0-2 the count to the leadoff man, David Hamilton. He's got a man in scoring position in Zach Zubia. He reached base on a walk. This one is just outside.
How about you? Favorite book? Cat in the Hat, Green Eggs and Ham?
No, my favorite book is Old Man and the Sea. I love Hemingway. Very simple, easy to read.
Right.
But powerful. The 1-2 is strike number 3. It's a drop third strike, so down to first base throws Iser. A beautiful curveball, it looked like, from McGowan that had Hamilton frozen. First strikeout for McGowan, second out of the inning.
A knee buckler, as they say, against David Hamilton. And then meanwhile, Hamilton, after the drop third strike, Iser took his time checking down at second base, making sure nothing was going on from Zubia's end. And Hamilton just started jogging. A nice easy trot over to first base. If he starts, running pretty hard, he's forcing Iser to make a quicker throw. Anything can happen. Hamilton kind of losing track of what was going on and the intensity of the game.
So now 2 outs for DeLuca. He has 2 hits tonight. Single in the first, single in the fifth. He also scored the 3rd run of this game in the 5th inning. 3rd run for the Red Sox, I should say. Trying to keep this at a 2-run margin is McGowan. He kicks and delivers high, 2-0.
Middle of the order coming up. Don't want to fall behind Jonathan DeLuca, who a good hitter himself, having a good year, coming in .333, already 2 for 3 on the day, but you don't want to have to face Quinn Cotton and Reese Albert with multiple guys on base.
This one is inside, and it's a ball. Iser thought that one was a strike. So did the Falmouth bullpen. They are getting into this game, invested.
Yeah, they're pretty loud over there.
They want this one.
In Wareham, we heard them. We were so far away from them because that Wareham bullpen is out in left field. But we heard them barking, barking and calling.
The 3-0 is a strike.
And they're starting to do the same here. They're a lot closer as well. So you know that McGowan can hear his boys over there getting on him.
McGowan has that dangling throwing hand. Comes to the stretch. Lifts his leg and delivers. Strike number 2. DeLuca was a little bit out of the box, about to throw the bat.
It was a late strike call. Definitely a late strike call.
Important pitch coming up. 3-2 the count. 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. Zach Zubia in scoring position. He's on second base.
Expecting curveball.
McGowan fires a fastball down the first base line, but foul.
Another good pitch from Pat McGowan. Those last 2 fastballs just clipping the outer edge and at the knees. That one in identical spot as the 3-1 strike call. So he didn't catch too much plate, didn't make it too easy for DeLuca, and also didn't throw a ball, which would have given him first base free of charge.
So we'll do it again. Full count. YD leads Falmouth 4-2. McGowan delivers fastball again. This one's popped up on the infield. It's right behind the plate. Iser barely moves and makes the catch. Iser shedded both of his masks. He had the catcher's mask and then that little helmet that he has backwards on his head as he walks to the dugout. So a leadoff walk by Logan Reinhardt, then a call to the bullpen for Pat McGowan. The score remains the same, 4-2 YD. We'll be back for the bottom of the 6th on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Edition of the Trendy 20, where we will ask 20 rapid fire questions and a little get to know you with some of our 2018 Falmouth Commodores. I'm Greg Levinsky here with Matt Canarino. Matt is a pitcher from Rice University, a rising junior. Matt, you ready to go?
Yes, sir.
What's your favorite color?
Red.
Do you eat ice cream in a cone or in a bowl?
In a cup.
In a cup?
In a cup.
Interesting. Yeah. What's the most embarrassing moment you've ever had on the baseball field?
On a baseball field? Every once in a while when I pitch, I grip it real loose with my fingertips, so I'll just throw it and it'll just go off behind me. It'll just slip out of my finger.
Now, I know you're a pretty intense guy on the mound. Have you ever done anything that you regret?
On the mound?
Yeah, like in you know, when you're being intense out there and saying stuff and.
Oh, I regret not throwing some more strikes. I guess.
That works. What's your dream job other than being a baseball player?
Oh, I'd love to be a mechanical engineer one day. I mean, that's what I'm getting my degree in.
So what's your favorite class you've ever taken at Rice?
At Rice, I would have to say my Mech 211, so it's my introduction to engineering mechanics, and it's a great professor.
If you were to open a restaurant with anybody on the team, who would it be and what would it be called?
I would probably say, let's say Nick Mikolacek, and we'll call it I don't know. I'm an Italian, so I guess it would be a pizza place, and maybe it would be Nick and Matt's.
Back here for the bottom of the 6th inning. This ball is downstairs. You saw a little bit of a teaser. We did the same thing yesterday. We're trying to get you guys to go to our social media and our YouTube page to watch these full Trundy 20s. They are pretty funny. Bobby Krause did one with Hayden Cantrell. Greg Levinsky did one with Matt Cantorino. You're going to want to hear that long answer about the restaurant. This one is deep into left field. Back is Cotton leaping, and he makes the catch. Outstanding play by the left fielder. Full extension, and he showed off his vertical jump for the first out.
Completely robs Cameron Cannon, who was looking for his second hit of the afternoon. Would have been another hard-struck ball, potentially a double, but Cotton just tall enough to leap up and make that grab, and that one just dying out there in left field. Looked like it might have a chance to go off the wall for Cannon, but instead Cotton robs him.
Herbert Iser now steps in. He walked his last time up. This one is inside from the arm of Braden Fink. First call to the bullpen we've seen for the YD Red Sox. Fink goes to Oklahoma. He's a rising junior. And he had a 1.80 ERA last year over 20 innings. 28 strikeouts as well. This one is waived at 1-1.
This summer he is 1-1, 1 win and 1 loss. 3.85 ERA. This will be his 7th game. We're starting to get up there with some of these arms in the bullpen. He still has only thrown 11 2/3 innings pitched thus far. He usually comes in for about a third of an inning or 3 innings. Anywhere in between there, but never just 1 or 2.
Missing the off-speed pitch is Iser. He struck out his first time up back in the 2nd inning. Trying to avoid the same thing here. Fink really gets down into the crouch. Craig Kimbrell-esque. He doesn't,
even lower than Craig Kimbrell, I think.
It's not the exact same, but they get down on the mound. This one fouled back out of play.
It's a weird one because he doesn't deliver like that. He comes set and he has this perfectly normal straight-legged set, and then he kicks and delivers. But right now, when he's looking at the pitch, completely squatted over, dangling the throwing hand with the ball in it, and then everything's completely normal.
The 1-2 is inside. Falmouth trying to keep this momentum rolling. They had some in the bottom of the 5th inning after the Austin Langworthy home run. And then a little bit of a lengthy top of the 6th, at least time-wise. That call to the bullpen lasted a little while, but Pat McGowan left Zach Zubia stranded at second base. The 2-2 to Iser. Swung on in, missed strike 3. Looked like he decided to swing a little bit too late for the second out of this 6th inning.
It's Herbert Iser's 2nd strikeout of the evening. Hasn't been seeing the ball well and came up empty on that one. He was actually all over that breaking ball, but it just beat him. Flat out beat him. Good pitch from Fink.
Hayden Cantrell, 0 for 1 on the night. Walked in the 4th inning. Fink trying to work a 1-2-3 6th. It's been a lengthy game so far. Bottom of the 6th inning, we're almost 2 hours in. Showing bunt as Cantrell pulls back and takes a strike.
Yeah, I thought we were going to have a quick game, actually, when I saw how Etheridge and Henley started dealing after giving up their respective runs. But since then, we've seen a lot of batters come up to the plate for both teams.
Fink misses this one inside.
Part of the reason a lot of guys have been left on base. 4th inning, Commodores left the bases loaded. They left 1 on base last inning. The YD Red Sox in the 5th stranded 2. Also left 1 on base back in the 6th as well.
The 1-1 is high to Hayden Cantrell. Cantrell a switch hitter. He's batting as a righty this time because Fink is a lefty on the bump. He batted from the left-hand batter's box his first couple times up, and he swings at this pitch, fouled back over the bleachers, 2-2.
Hayden Cantrell could use a hit. He's a guy sitting at only 8 hits on the summer, and he's been struggling lately to hit the ball, been striking out a lot more than he's wanted to. Hasn't had a hit since July 5th against Katuitt when the Commodores won 17-7.
The 2-2, 2 outs. Fink delivers high and upstairs. He looked at his landing spot after he missed on that pitch. First full count faced by Braden Fink. Cantrell worked a 5-pitch walk in the 4th inning. That was when Henley was really struggling to find the plate. He issued 3 straight walks
to Cannon, Iser, and Cantrell, but Falmouth left the bases loaded. This one is sliced foul. Falmouth being out hit 2-1. And the Red Sox have the Commodores doubled up in the runs column as well. 4 runs on 10 hits, no errors for the Red Sox. 2 runs on 5 hits, 1 error for the Commodores. The 3-2 is missed just downstairs. Second straight walk that Hayden Cantrell has worked. He's now up to 22, and he's back in the team lead in that category.
Where he belongs. Guy who walks so darn much. He actually scored a run against the Wareham Gatemen a couple outings ago, despite not even getting a hit. So he is so just awesome to have on the base pads. Let's be honest. He's such a nuisance on the base pads. He's so fast.
Interesting.
To the pitchers. He's so fast that any way he can get on base, you're happy with. That's why he walks so much, because he knows it's a big part of his game.
Nice stop by Dyer behind the plate. That one was way in the dirt from Fink. And Will Brennan now stands up at the plate. He's grounded out to first base both times he has been up. So he's been pulling the ball right down that first base line to DeLuca. DeLuca now holds Hayden Cantrell on. You mentioned he scored that run against Wareham. He was actually used as a pinch runner there.
Right.
Because Jeff Trundy knows how lethal he is on the base paths. We'll see if he tries to steal. He does not here. This one is nubbed back to Fink. Fink has no problem shoveling it over to first base. So 3 groundouts for Will Brennan. And after allowing a 2-out walk, DeLuca forces the last out of this inning. YD still leads the Falmouth Commodores by a score of 4-2. We'll be back for the 7th on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
The answer is Salem, Massachusetts. And the final trivia question of the night. When was Cape Cod 5-cent Savings Bank founded? What year was Cape Cod 5-cent Savings Bank founded? The interns and players are coming around for the last call of 50-50. You can also purchase tickets at the intern tent. We rank up sales at the bottom of the 7th inning. You don't want to miss out. Your tickets will be entered into the free pleasant prizes, generously donated by our local merchants, as well as active 50-50 ticket sales tonight. We paid out over $10,000 in cash last year. We'll be announcing winners in the middle of the year.
Pat McGowan still on the mound for the Commodores. He's going to have to face the bulk of this YD order. Quinn Cotton, Reese Albert, and Brad Beasley. Cotton with 2 hits tonight, Beasley with 2 as well. They each have a double and each have a single. Strike number 1 to Cotton, the rising junior at Grand Canyon. Did he go around on that one? No, he did not. Appeal down to first base, 1-1.
See, that one I think he did go around. There was one earlier in the game that they called, I can't remember who was on. They called went around.
It was on Beasley.
Beasley. They
Yeah.
called that he went around. Did not. That one I think he did. I'm just totally not on par with Joe Peters right now. We'll talk after the game.
1-1 is fouled back. We haven't mentioned it yet, but we're going to talk jerseys. YD wearing their away whites, blue lettering, white pants as well.
They got the wings as well underneath the arm.
Yep. Falmouth wearing the Red Shirt Friday home Reds. This one is over to first base. A one-hopper to Kyle Stowers. Hangs him up, underhanded to Pat McGowan. A nice backup play by the pitcher.
for the first out.
McGowan and Quinn Cotton in a foot race over there to first base, and McGowan comes out on top. Nicely done by the pitcher, who says they aren't athletes, as he totally outruns the very athletic left fielder in Quinn Cotton.
So the Red Shirt Fridays is a campaign across the Cape League. You'll notice the jerseys do not say Falmouth on them, they say Cape Cod. Every home team that plays on a Friday wears those red shirts, and they are to remember everyone deployed, R-E-D. Swing and a miss, strike one by Reese Albert.
Just got that.
Really?
Is that why? It's an acronym?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
It's Red Shirt Friday, remembering everybody deployed, yeah.
And tomorrow night, if I'm not mistaken,
Military Appreciation Night.
Military Appreciation Night here at the Gov.
Strike number 2, outside part of the plate. McGowan wheeling and dealing here in the top of the 7th, trying to get it back to the Commodores. It'll be hitters 1, 2, and 3 due up in the bottom half of this inning. The 0-2 fouled back.
We talk about it a lot, that you want to work a quick inning, get your bats back out in to the dugout, back out up to the plate, see what they can do, try to keep that momentum. A.J. Block managed to do it against the Wareham Gatemen a couple days ago, and the Commodores put up a 4 spot in the 9th inning. See if Pat McGowan can do it here. Still a lot of time to go for the Doors, but you want to start chipping away soon.
0-2 is inside, but it's fouled off of Reese Albert's leg. He has struck out twice tonight. And I want to take a look a little bit bigger picture, Danny. We're going to take a step back. Both of these teams playing very well in their last 10 games. Falmouth is 6-3-1. YD is 6-2-2. And Falmouth really trying to make a push in the standings. Right now they are tied for 3rd with Bourne, 1 point up on Cotuit, and trail Hyannis by only 3 points. Trying to cement themselves in one of those top 4 spots before the playoffs start. The 0-2 is swung on and missed. Strike 3. Second strikeout by Pat McGowan.
And the 3rd strikeout in his last 3 at-bats against Reese Albert. A guy, like I said, came into tonight batting .340, and he has been held hitless, going down without a fight almost always in this one. So credit Commodores pitchers with quieting a very hot bat.
YD right now very comfortable atop their own division. They are first place in the East. Swing and a miss by Brad Beasley, 0-1.
Look around the Cape League for you. You've got, of course, this game sitting at 4-2. The Chatham Anglers are beating the Orleans Firebirds 3-0. Boy, that's a matchup that does not affect the Commodores at all. Meanwhile, the Wareham Gatemen have a comfortable lead over the last place Cotuit Kettleers 7-1, so that's big for the Commodores if Wareham can stay ahead. And Brewster and Harwich tied up at 1. And then finally, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks defeating the Bourne Braves 5-2. So we said it. We'll say it again. If the Commodores can win this game, and if Hyannis can stay ahead in that game against Bourne, then we would be looking at the Commodores in sole possession of 3rd place.
1-2 is the count to Brad Beasley. Just outside, Pat McGowan with a long walk off the mound. He licks his right hand and will stroll back to the rubber.
That one was close, but got to agree with Bill Fisher. Good frame by Herbert Iser, which made it look closer than it actually was, but I think it was a little low and outside.
YD looking for their 16th win of the summer. Wareham has 16. They lead the West Division. This one in the dirt, 3-2. And I was talking about it before the game, how tightly packed the West Division is. Last place and first place, only 7 points apart. If you look in the East, 19 points separating Brewster and YD.
Brewster, a big reason for that. They only have 6 wins on the season.
This one chopped over to Maverick Hanley. This will be his first putout of the game, and it's a nice scoop by Kyle Stowers. Nice throw by Maverick Hanley, who has been relatively quiet over at 3rd base, hasn't had too many balls hit to him. They must know what kind of arm he has. So a 1-2-3 inning work by Pat McGowan. He's retired the last 5 batters he's faced. It'll be 1, 2, and 3 for the Commodores when we come back on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Once again, any kids in costume that want to be part of our costume parade, you can head up to the gatehouse by the entrance to Gov Forward. Baseball country, a proud partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League since 1991. We're doing 6 events nationwide for players from middle and high school. There are 3 training sessions here at Cape Cod. Baseball country, baseball
Bottom of inning number 7. Davidson will start things off in the 7th inning. He has started off the bottom of every odd inning. 1, 3, 5, and now 7. Braden Fink still on the mound showing bunt is Davidson, but he misses. It is 0-1.
We've seen quite a few bunt attempts lately from Logan Davidson. Just looking for anything to get himself on base, be a contributor to the team, because lately he has just been struggling so mightily.
The 0-1 is a strike on the inside part of the plate.
Logan now batting from the right side for the first time in 2 games. Yesterday was all from the left. Earlier in this one was all from the left as well. We'll see if that can break him out of his slump.
This one is downstairs, 1-2. He's trailed every count that he's been up. That was poorly worded. He has trailed in the count every time he's been up.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
Words.
Words.
Prepositions.
The 1-2 is swung on and missed. It was way outside, but the curveball made its way back in towards the plate, and Davidson chased. 3rd strikeout of the night for the shortstop.
I think that one had no chance of catching the corner. I think Logan Davidson knew it had no chance of catching the corner, but like I said, he's just looking to do anything to get himself on base. Sometimes when you're slumping so hard, you get a little bit desperate, and Davidson is getting desperate here. He just needs something to settle him down, get himself back in order.
Maverick Hanley with the double way back in the 1st inning. He swings at the first pitch. Hanley 1 for 2 on the night. Braden Fink still on the mound for YD. He's only allowed 1 base runner. It was a walk to Hayden Cantrell. One is the count. 1 out. Falmouth trails YD by 2. Falmouth does not have a hit since Kyle Stowers last came up in the 5th inning. That was following the solo shot by Austin Langworthy. The 1-1 is low. Hanley leads in the count.
So the guys at plate and coming up to bat, Maverick Hanley, who already has a double today, had a couple of hits in had a hit last night, a couple hits in the games before that. Austin Langworthy, who has a home run today. Kyle Stowers with 2 hits today. These are the guys you want up. Try to piece together a comeback.
2-1 is fouled back. Tracking is DeLuca, but he will not have a play on it. It lands in the grass. Maverick Hanley worked a 9-pitch at bat before the walk-off double last night. This is only pitch number 5 from Fink, so nothing serious for Maverick Hanley.
This is child's play.
2-2 is low. Hanley worked a walk his last time up in the 5th inning, but then was out on that wacky play on the base paths.
So what we heard from our own Greg Levinsky, the web reporter, was that apparently Hanley called for time, put his hands up, thought he had been granted time, and then was told no and was tagged out.
3-2 is lifted into left center field. It's going to give plenty of time for Brad Beasley. He makes the put out in center, and that is only the 3rd flyout to the outfield all night.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Commodores go down due to groundouts. Groundouts to first base as well.
Yeah, what the heck? That's crazy. Because the only time that DeLuca has had a play is with 2 outs, and he just trots over to first, and he ends the inning.
Well, he did have a play over in the 1st inning. Very first batter, Logan Davidson, grounded out to him. Otherwise, yeah, you're right. He's just been unassisted to end innings. And that's been the bulk of the outs have been ground outs to the right side.
Austin Langworthy had a solo jack his last time up. He takes a big cut at the first pitch, but it was low. Fink knew that he did not want to leave anything about waist high for Austin Langworthy. Clouds rolling over the left field right now. This one is a check swing, but it's into play. Fink will field it and throw over to first. A 1-2-3 inning worked by Braden Fink. So the YD Red Sox still lead Falmouth 4-2. We'll be back for the top of the 8th on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Hey Commodores fans, next time you're at Gov Fuller Field, you may notice all players, coaches, umpires, and interns are wearing small honorary badges in memory of Yarmouth Police Sergeant Sean Gannon, who was killed in the line of duty in April here on Cape Cod. The CCBL and the Falmouth Commodores are doing our part to assist in any way we can. You can purchase the same pin for a small donation of $5. All proceeds will go to the Yarmouth Police Department Foundation. Please stop by our merchandise shack to purchase your pin, and thank you for helping us support this worthy cause.
Top of inning number 8. This one is way wild to Christian Koss. Looks like it just slipped out of the hand of Patrick McGowan for ball 1. That might be the most wild pitch we've seen all year.
It happens. Matt Canarino was saying it in his Trundy 20 to Greg Levinsky, that sometimes you just grip it a little too lightly and it sails.
Strike number 1 inside part of the plate. Pat McGowan has been dealing. We said it the last time he was up. He's faced 5 batters and retired all 5. He's thrown now 9 balls, 18 strikes, and has 2 strikeouts as well. Christian Koss has 2 singles on the day. He takes a ball upstairs.
He made that heart of the YD order look like nothing.
Look foolish.
Yeah, Quinn Cotton going down on 4 pitches on a ground out. Reese Albert striking out on 3 or 4 pitches. Bradley Beasley worked a full count, then he grounded out. So Pat McGowan looking real sharp.
Pat McGowan went to St. Sebastian's High School in Needham, Massachusetts, so not too far away. And we've talked about it before. He's always stayed around here, right? He goes to college at Holy Cross out in Worcester. Played in the NECBL last summer, in the Cape this summer. This one is chopped over to Kyle Stowers. He's going to underhand it to Pat McGowan. Again, we saw a similar play last inning. Pat McGowan showing off the speed, helping himself out.
Pat McGowan, speed demon. That guy has now busted off the mound and beaten Quinn Cotton to first base, and now Christian Koss over to first base. I'm impressed.
You sound impressed.
Yeah, dude, that was close play, and he made it happen. Not a lot of other guys can make it over there that quickly and get the play as well, make the catch.
Pat McGowan stands at an even 6 foot, 190. This one is fouled out of play towards the basketball court by the rec center. So we've seen a couple of those 3-1 putouts, as we said. Quinn Cotton, a fast guy as well, like you said, the left fielder. That was the first out of the 7th inning. Same way he starts the 8th inning.
Not a lot of loud outs either. We saw in his, I believe it was his last outing, maybe it was against Bourne, his last time at Gov Fuller Field, where there were a bunch of loud outs to the outfield. And he told you afterwards, he said, thank God for Austin Langworthy.
That was against Bourne. I believe it was the 3-2 loss to Bourne,
Right. And he said, thank God for Austin Langworthy because he bailed him out multiple times.
Yeah, 4 times.
But then tonight, Pat McGowan is doing it all himself. Nice, easy ground balls and a strikeout as well.
This one is over in the hole, backhanded by Cameron Cannon. He makes a long throw and a beautiful throw for out number 2. It has now been 7 up, 7 down for Pat McGowan, and he gets some help from Cam Cannon.
Right, just as I say it, of course, then a nice play, good backup defensively by Cam Cannon, but we talked about it. Cameron Cannon getting his first reps of the summer over at shortstop tonight. He is the starting shortstop for the Arizona Wildcats down there in beautiful Tucson, so he knows the position well, and he shows it off there looking like Logan Davidson always does with that backhand in the hole.
Last time YD had a hit was back in the top of the 5th. It was a Brad Beasley single. This one is high to Zach Zubia. And the last time we saw a hit for the Commodores was the bottom of the 5th. A single by Kyle Stowers. So innings 6, 7, and so far 8 have gone by pretty quickly. Outside part of the plate, 1-1.
Big credit to McGowan. A little bit of Reinhardt in there. He had a couple pitches thrown in the 6th, and then, of course, Braden Fink on the other end for the YD Red Sox. Those 3 relievers looking sharp.
This one just outside. Yeah, Fink has been really impressive. I mean, he's only faced 7 batters, only allowed 1 base runner. That was on the walk. Has yet to give up a hit as well. Reinhardt came in relief, pitched an even inning. Gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, walked 2, and struck out 2. Big miss by Zach Zubia. Count even at 2-2.
His curveball from Pat McGowan has been looking lights out, getting a lot of guys way out ahead of it, just waving over it.
2-2, 2 outs. This one's a fastball. Got him looking. 3rd strikeout by Pat McGowan, and he has now retired 8 in a row. Falmouth still trails by just 2. They only have a couple more chances to come back against the YD Red Sox. It's 4-2. We'll be back on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network. Bottom of the 8th, and Kyle Stowers up at the plate. So he has 2 hits on the night, 2 for 3 with 2 singles, but he hasn't gotten past first base. He's been left stranded there both times. Watches the first pitch from Fink outside, 1-0.
4, 5, 6, Stowers, Wallner, and Cannon. Stowers and Cannon looking real good tonight. Wallner in between. He needs to bring himself up a little bit. 0 for 3 on the day, been struggling since his 3-hit performance against Yarmouth.
Big cut by Kyle Stowers. He comes up empty. And we see it with Edward Julian, with Davis Sims, and with Kyle Stowers. Sometimes their swing is so powerful that when they come up empty, they sometimes fall to one knee. They let the backhand go. He holds off on this one in the dirt, 2-1.
They swing out of their shoes.
Right.
Is what they say. And that's unfortunate to see for Stowers because when he hits the ball, and especially when he hits his home runs, it's just one fluid motion, one beautiful swing. Yeah, it's a long one. He has a naturally long swing, but he's not, trying to hack the cover off the baseball. He just kind of has this one smooth, fluid swing, and his big frame launches it.
Kyle Stowers and Davis Sims lead the team in home runs with 3. This one's high and outside. Fink pitching around Kyle Stowers so far. He issued 1 walk to Hayden Cantrell back in the 6th. A leadoff base runner would be huge. Falmouth has only had 1 tonight. That was back in the 2nd inning, a leadoff single by Cam Cannon. The 3-1. Fink pitching from the stretch. This one fouled back. Full count.
That's one where Kyle Stowers was trying to take the cover off the baseball. He had that big leg lift, stepped right into it, and just couldn't make contact.
Do you think there is like a difference in the swing when he comes up empty versus when he hits it?
There has to be, yeah, because it goes more into just timing. It also goes into, you see a juicy curveball, and maybe you take your head out a little bit too early. Could be, a half second take your head out, and that's it.
Here is the 3-2. This one chopped over to first base, and it will stay fair. Johnny DeLuca makes his first out that wasn't the 3rd out. Because every other time he's gotten a ground ball, it has ended the inning. This is just the first out of inning number 8.
So, yeah, to answer your question, Kyle Stowers sometimes swings out of his shoes, and it's a little bit different than when he gets home run.
I kind of disagree with you. I think it's just because he has so much power, he has that long swing. I don't think he's trying to do too much on the ones he comes up empty. It's just the way he approaches at the plate.
Well, it's not really too noticeable. It's not like he goes and it's like he's swinging, a tennis racket trying to. It's maybe like I said, you take your head out,
okay,
or you swing a little bit more with your shoulders. Really minor stuff that a hitting coach would notice.
But not us.
No, not us.
This one is up the middle, and it will be a single for Matt Wallner. He's now 1 for 4. Grounded out to first base twice and struck out once before this 8th inning single. It puts a man on first base for Cameron Cannon.
Cameron Cannon has been hitting the ball well. He had that hard-struck single in the 2nd, walked in the 4th on 4 pitches, but then in the 6th inning had that sharp liner that Quinn Cotton nabbed out of midair, full extension, beautiful web gem out there in left field, robbed a double from Cannon.
Chandler Fidel is warming in the pen for the Red Sox. He's a rising sophomore at Arkansas Little Rock. Strike number 1 to Cannon. And yeah, as you said, that last time up, absolutely roped to left field, but Quinn Cotton leaping up, stabbing that one, and robbing Cannon of at least a double. Here's the 0-1. It's a breaking ball just inside. And the pen is empty for the Commodores, so maybe we'll see a 3rd full inning of work from Pat McGowan, and why not? He's been perfect through 2 2/3. This one is roped into left field again, but Cotton is there, and he will make the 2nd out of the day against Cam Cannon. 2nd out of this 8th inning. And a couple times Cam Cannon has had really good contact, just hasn't found a hole.
That's another one I thought was going to hit the wall, maybe one hop the wall, but I guess it died out there in left field. Quinn Cotton managing to get underneath that one with plenty of space. So Cannon hard contact right away, but just couldn't get all of it.
Pinch hitter for the Commodores, it's going to be Davis Sims. So it'll be interesting to see how the defense rearranges when the Commodores come back into the field in the 9th inning. I'd have to assume, well, Herbert Iser's day is done, so Hanley will move behind the plate. Maybe Cannon back to 3rd.
You could put Sims over at 3rd. He's a third baseman himself.
Yeah, that's probably what they'll do. That'll be a little bit simpler. Keep Stowers at first base. This curveball drops in for strike number 1. Iser had struggled a little bit today. He was 0 for 2. 2 strikeouts and a walk. But he did catch Jonathan DeLuca stealing way back in the top of the 1st inning. The 0-1 is chopped, and it dies over at 3rd base. Scooped by Quintana onto first, and a nice stretch by DeLuca. What a play from 5 to 3. Running in was Quintana, and staying on the bag was the Oregon Duck, Jonathan DeLuca. 3rd out of the inning, so it's still 4-2. We head into the final frame. YD 4, Falmouth 2. We'll be back on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network.
Hey Doors fans, we hope you're enjoying our broadcast. Don't forget to follow us all season long on your favorite social media. Twitter @FoulCommodores, Instagram FoulCommodores, and Facebook @Falmouth Commodores. Subscribe for the latest news, live game coverage, exclusive player interviews, and more.
Top of inning number 9. First pitch is a ball from Patrick McGowan. This one back into the screen. Pinch hitting is Zach Ashford from Fresno State. So a little lefty-righty matchup. Dyer had been struggling before. He struck out twice and then grounded out to the pitcher. Strike number 1. Excuse me, strike number 2, now 1 and 2. Pat McGowan has worked a perfect 2 2/3. And this is easily his best appearance this summer.
He's been dealing, and why not leave him out for another inning? Because he's a starter, has the stamina, just relegated to the bullpen just recently.
This one cracked down the first base line and foul. Zach Ashford came in as a temporary player. He had a great year during his junior campaign at Fresno State. Batted .352, 77 hits, 18 doubles. He's from Clovis, California. So a long trip for him this summer. This one over to Kyle Stowers. He fields it, and he'll take it himself. Pat McGowan doesn't need to strain himself this time. Out number 1.
So we were hypothesizing about the defensive arrangements before. Yeah. Kyle Stowers does stay over at first base, and they go the easy way out. Davis Sims coming in at third. Maverick Hanley moving over to do the catching. So the only change is just Herbert Iser now out of the defensive alignment, and Davis Sims added in.
Brings up David Hamilton, who is 1 for 4 tonight. He's flied out to left twice, struck out and singled. This one is lifted into right field. Backtracking is Wallner. He is camped under it for out number 2.
Couple easy outs for McGowan. 4 pitches and a ground out from Ashford. That one Hamilton got a hold of initially, but got way too far under it, and Wallner had an easy can of corn out there in right field. So 2 quick outs for McGowan. How great would this be for him to work 3 scoreless innings in a close game? Become and cement himself as one of the more reliable relievers, because we've seen him work scoreless innings in close games against Bourne as well.
This one fouled back by Jonathan DeLuca. He's now faced everyone in this YD lineup, and he's retired all of them. YD, a team that hits very, very well at .279 team batting average. That's one of the best in the Cape League. Now retired 10 in a row. Maverick Hanley sets up outside and gets DeLuca to chase. I think I know why McGowan's doing so well.
Why is that?
His girlfriend's in town.
Oh, he's got a girl to impress.
Yeah, exactly. The 0-2, trying to work his third 1-2-3 inning, and it's just outside 1 and 2.
It's like when you're playing basketball during the summertime, and then there's a couple girls watching, so then everybody starts playing like they're Michael Jordan.
True.
To impress.
Sounds like you know what you're talking about.
I don't play basketball. It sounds like that's what Pat McGowan is doing. But, I mean, they need him to. The Commodores need him to eat up these 3 innings scoreless, give his hitters a fighting chance.
McGowan shakes off Hanley. They agree on a pitch. It's a fastball. Got him swinging. How about that? 4 strikeouts for Pat McGowan. He retires 11 in a row and brings this thing to the bottom of the 9th inning. Falmouth had a walk-off last night. They trail YD by 2. We'll see if they have more heroics in the tank on the other side of the break on the Falmouth Commodores Baseball Network. Bottom of the 9th, last chance for the Commodores. It'll be Cantrell, Brennan, and Davidson. They are hitless combined tonight. Cantrell 0 for 1, Brennan 0 for 3, Davidson 0 for 4. Ryan Nelson now on the bump for YD. This is his 9th appearance of the summer. He has 2 saves. He's pitched 11 2/3 innings, a 2-0 record. His last time out against Orleans was last night. Pitched an inning and a third. Gave up 1 earned run and 3 hits.
Ryan Nelson, another Oregon Duck, along with Johnny DeLuca. Nelson also plays shortstop. And in 2018, pitching-wise, he saved the game 4 times, had a 3.86 ERA, 3-1 record as well, and 37 strikeouts compared to 14 walks.
0-1 to Cantrell is just outside 1-1. Cantrell has worked 2 walks tonight. Last night, Falmouth came up in the bottom of the 9th with a tie game, 3-3. Will Brennan got it started with a single. Maverick Hanley, 2 batters later, had the walk-off double. The 1-1 from Nelson is strike number 2.
It's a tough pitch for Hayden Cantrell. Look below the knees. Don't want to swing at it because it's one of those dying fastballs, one of those running fastballs that's just going even lower. And now you're down 2 strikes. 1 and 2, got to protect the plate if you're Cantrell.
Nelson from Henderson, Nevada, went to Basic High School. This one is a curveball that's low and inside. I have a friend that went to Basic.
Really?
And he would always make the joke, I swear, that's what our high school was named.
Every time I hear it, it's kind of alarming.
Right. 2-2 to Hayden Cantrell. He's batting as a lefty tonight. Third time he's done so. This one outside, full count.
Hayden Cantrell so good at working full counts. Fell behind 1 and 2. Now watches 2 balls go by. Granted, easy takes. Those ones completely out of the strike zone from Nelson. Those were his strikeout pitches. Now he'll have to attack, and Cantrell most likely will have to swing.
Slow delivery from Nelson, and it's a walk. Third of the night, worked by Hayden Cantrell, and all of a sudden, the Commodores have a leadoff base runner trying to repeat last night's magic.
This is the Hayden Cantrell we're used to. The Hayden Cantrell who was leading the team in walks, had 20 coming into tonight, now has 23. And this is the Hayden Cantrell that walked, like 15 times through the first week and a half of the summer. Just ridiculous numbers. Much needed base runner for the Commodores. We said it a couple innings ago. He's a nuisance out there on the base paths. See if he can be the same to Ryan Nelson.
Nelson now has to worry about Cantrell on the base paths. This is a strike to Will Brennan. Will Brennan has grounded out 3 times tonight. 2 to first base, 1 to the pitcher. Nelson now pitching from the stretch. He's also throwing to Adam Kerner, who is in behind the plate for Dyer. Did Cantrell go around? No, he did not. 1-1. That's Will Brennan, excuse me.
Brennan has been put away 3 times pretty easily. You want to at least test these fielders and test your speed against them, but he's made it easy work for them.
Ball inside. Now ahead in the count is Will Brennan. He had some 9th inning magic last night, a single to start off the bottom of the 9th. He was then out on a fielder's choice by Logan Davidson. Logan Davidson came around to score the game's winning run. 2-1 your score right now. Falmouth without a hit since Matt Wallner was up last inning. Check swing, fouled, back 2-2.
Chandler Fidel is still warming up in that YD bullpen. He's a lefty, so they had him warming last inning, opted to go instead to their closer, Ryan Nelson. Nelson runs into trouble, would assume that we see Fidel, say around Langworthy-Stowers area, 3-4, a couple batters from now if it gets that far for those lefty-lefty matchups. But right now it's Ryan Nelson's battles to get through.
The 2-2. Downstairs, ball 3. Ryan Nelson struggling with that third strike. He was up 1-2 to Hayden Cantrell, walked him. 2-1 in this count, now a full count for Will Brennan. Adam Kerner is behind the plate as the catcher. He's a rising sophomore at San Diego. Nelson fires a fastball. It's fouled back out of play. Battle from Will Brennan here in the 9th inning.
Good piece of hitting from Will Brennan just to stay alive. That was a fastball running in on the hands. The only way Brennan would be able to even put that into the outfield for a potential base hit is if he was out ahead of it a little bit more. Instead was way late and managed to work it foul. So real good job fighting that one off.
Brennan had 2 hits last night. Falmouth would love one here. This one is flared into shallow center field. Charging in is Beasley, but Cotton will cut him off and make the play in left for out number 1.
Similar to the previous pitch that Will Brennan shot foul. This one again a little bit late on, put it into left center field. I thought it didn't have enough on it to stay up, thought it might fall for a bloop single, but instead stays up just long enough for the speedy Quinn Cotton to make the easy grab.
Logan Davidson, a strikeout victim his last 3 times up. Now 2nd straight game with 3 Ks. He's up with 1 out. Hayden Cantrell at first base. And last night's hero, Maverick Hanley, on deck. Takes ball number 1 downstairs.
This slider isn't looking good from Ryan Nelson. Missing low and inside with a lot of these. Means that he's going to have to rely on his fastball a little bit more. Makes it easier for the hitters as well. Just look fastball, try to capitalize.
Nelson from the University of Oregon. Teammates with Johnny DeLuca, the first baseman. This one misses downstairs.
Yet another slider that dives in towards the ankles. Davidson now with a 2-0 count. So rare that we see him ahead in counts. Let's see what he can do.
Dashbach from Stanford is in at first base for DeLuca. He's holding on Hayden Cantrell. The 2-0 is just outside. 3-0 to Logan Davidson. Now 3 straight 3-ball counts from Ryan Nelson.
Well, now the hitters, Davidson, Handley, Langworthy, if we get that far, have seen what Nelson has to offer. He's thrown 3-ball counts in every single one of these batters he's faced. They know what to expect.
This one is upstairs, ball 4. Second walk of this 9th inning. All of a sudden, the winning run is at the plate. It's Maverick Handley.
Attention, please, ladies and gentlemen.
Boy, would that be special for Maverick if on the off chance he can get a hold of another one and be the hero once again. Last night we were talking to him after the game, and he made initial contact with that pitch, drove it to the wall. I thought it was going to be gone on the call. He thought it was going to be gone. He took a couple steps towards first base, was craning his head, hanging onto the bat, hoping to be able to jog around the base paths with a walk-off home run. Ended up off the wall. Still got the same effect. Still just as happy with it. But he told me, man, I thought that I hit that gun. I thought I got it over the wall.
He said to me, he was like, off the bat, I thought it was over the scoreboard. He was like, I got everything on that one, but it didn't go as far as he thought. I'm not sure where the wind was going. That was something I wasn't paying attention to late in the game. Right now, the flag is laying down the pole. There is no wind here at Gov Fuller Field. Hayden Cantrell's in scoring position. Logan Davidson's at first base for the first time tonight. Maverick Handley is up at the plate. He had a double in the first and came around to score. Falmouth trails YD 4-2. This is a beautiful slider for strike number 1.
Maverick, not much of a home run hitter, only had 2 in 2018 for the Stanford Cardinal and has none on this summer season.
Hamilton shaded over towards second base. Dashback is playing at normal depth. Nice stop by Kerner behind the plate.
We've seen a couple great stops from YD catchers. Matt Dyer had a ton early on that kept the runners at bay. Only one got past him that Cameron Cannon advanced on, and now Kerner with a huge stop there to keep the double play in order.
Maverick Handley came into today batting .228 with 7 RBI. Nelson delivers the 1-1. It is fouled up and just out of play. 1-2.
Handley falls behind and counts a lot, manages to work them back full a lot. He did that twice already in this one, once in the 5th when he walked in, once in the 7th when he flew out to center. Did it a couple times last game as well. So a pretty good guy at fighting back and at least forcing the pitcher to throw a good amount of pitches, regardless of the outcome.
Maverick Handley steps in. Kerner sets up outside. We'll see where this pitch comes in. And it is on the outside part of the plate. Strike 3. Maverick Handley knew it as soon as it hit Kerner's mitt. Commodores down to their final out with Austin Langworthy coming up.
I just think Handley wasn't expecting fastball. He immediately knew it was a strike, and he had no semblance of even thinking about picking up the bat off his shoulder. I think he was completely shocked that a fastball came across with that much plate. Wasn't realizing it at all.
Austin Langworthy had a solo shot in the 5th inning. This one misses high and outside. A home run here would win the game. Austin Langworthy is the winning run. 4-2 the score in favor of YD. If YD wins this game, it will be a series split on the year. Falmouth won 2 games in Yarmouth. YD trying to win 2 games here in Falmouth. YD won the series last year 3-1. This is a strike, 1-1.
Langworthy's another guy. Doesn't hit a lot of home runs. He had 2 in 2018 for the Gators. Of course, had that memorable one that barely scraped over the fence in the Super Regional to put the Gators into Omaha. But he already has 2 on the summer, and one of them was an absolute missile a couple nights ago in Bourne. So he has the power. He's capable of it. Of course, you don't want to be thinking home run right here.
The 1-1 is fouled back into the screen. Commodores down to their final strike. After those first couple walks from Nelson, he's really settled down.
He's throwing a lot more strikes, attacking the zone a lot more. Got Maverick Hanley down 1-2. That a real good pitch for Langworthy, and I said you don't want to be looking home run. But then it looks like Langworthy was, because he took a mean hack out of it, just didn't get enough of it. Now he's down 1-2.
Nelson looking for his third save of the summer. He got one last night, wants another one here. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That will do it. Back-to-back strikeouts to hitters 2 and 3. The Commodores leave 2 stranded, and YD wins this game by a final score of 4-2. Danny, runners left on base was the story of the night.
Yeah, the Commodores with only 6 hits on the evening, so already kind of setting themselves back. And I think the biggest story with runners left on base is in the 4th, stranding the bases loaded. Yeah, granted, they didn't even get any hits in that inning. It wasn't because of them. It was just because a lot of balls were thrown. But you got to pick up on it, even with 2 outs, bases loaded, huge opportunity. They were unable to, and that's the big one that stands out to me. But in addition to that, almost every single inning they stranded guys on base. Only in the 3rd and in the 7th did they never strand a guy on the base paths.
Now we'll talk about some of the bright spots for the Commodores tonight. Kyle Stowers came back into the lineup, but had 2 hits.
Yeah, Stowers acted like he didn't even miss a beat. He came diving back into this lineup, went 2 for 4, 2 singles, including the RBI single that started off the scoring in this one back in inning number 1. So he didn't miss a step at all, and he was looking sharp. Austin Langworthy, yeah, he made the final out of this game. He only went 1 for 5, but he had a nice home run, especially in a frenzied manner after that wild, wacky 5th inning that went down, and he hit the home run on almost immediately after. So 2 guys in the middle of the lineup who looked like they were back in stride.
Will Etheridge does get the loss tonight, but he came back and had a much better start than his last time out. 4 1/3, 8 hits, only 2 earned runs. One of them was unearned, so he gave up 3 runs, 2 were unearned, struck out 5 and walked none. And Pat McGowan came in relief and was lights out.
Yeah, well, first thing about Etheridge is he looked solid, those 5 strikeouts, but just left too many balls over the plate. And he was getting burned over and over again with real hard-struck balls. Had to work himself out of a ton of jams. Never had a 1-2-3 inning because there were just so many hits being put up against him. But yeah, Pat McGowan was such a bright spot for the Commodores. He cemented himself, in my book, as one of the most reliable pitchers in this bullpen that the Doors can rely on in long relief, middle relief, even as a setup guy. We've seen him do it against Bourne. He did it again tonight in an extended setup situation. So he's a guy very versatile in that bullpen that I would expect to see a lot more.
So the Falmouth Commodores dropped this contest to the YD Red Sox by a score of 4-2. That evens up the season series, and that's the first series of the year that Falmouth is done with. They've played all 4 games against the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. The only time they would face off against them would be maybe in the playoffs. They faced off against each other in the 2014 and the 2016 championship round. So your final score here tonight is YD 4. They scored 4 runs on 10 hits. Falmouth 2. They scored 2 runs on 6 hits and 1 error. Be sure you tune in tomorrow night. It's Military Appreciation Night as well as Autograph Night. You're not going to want to miss that one against the first place Wareham Gatemen. For my producer Eliza Laycock and my partner Danny LaRose, I'm David Korzanowski saying so long and see you tomorrow.